Wild West League Championship Baseball as the number 1 seed Westland Knights take on the number 2 seed Portland Pickles. After 28 games between 4 teams, nearly 100 players participating, the Wild West League comes to a close tonight. It's been a battle of the top 2 teams all along in the regular season, and for one last time, the Westland Knights will face the Portland Pickles. The Pickles reached the finals after defeating the Gresham Grey Wolves 10-3 last night. Gresham jumped out to a 3-0 lead after half an inning to open the game, but the Pickles would go on to score 10 unanswered to get the win. Matt Hardy was fantastic for the Pickles, delivering 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, and the Pickles will need more of the same against the Westland Knights tonight. On the other side, the Westland Knights were able to shut out the Portland Gherkins with a 5-0 win in yesterday afternoon's contest. Chad Stevens became the first player in WWWL history with 2 two-run home runs in the same game as he lifted the Knights past the Gherkins. The juggernaut Westland Knights will look to cap off a record-setting summer with a win against the Pickles. It's the Westland Knights versus the Portland Pickles in the inaugural Wild West League Championship. First pitch is next. Well, as we get you starting lineups for these two teams, Westland and Portland going at it to close the Wild West League. On the mound for the Westland Knights, it's the big lefty, Cooper Hajerpi. Fastball slider curve, 89 to 91 will be his range. In 4 1/3 innings this summer, he's given up 1 hit. That's it, 1 hit. He has walked 4 and struck out 9. The lineup for the Pickles will be Nick Israel, Christian Cooney, Dalton Chandler, Kenyon Yovan cleaning things up, Zach Morgan, Gabe Scoro, Alec Arnone, Lucas Gregory, and Danny O'Reilly. The field for this Westland Knights team, Armstrong over there at third, Stevens at second, left side of the infield is going to be awfully good tonight. Jake Ducard at second base, Anderson at first. Lightgeb is behind the plate, putting down the signs in the squat. Holcroft in left, Knight in center, and Thomas Ducard in right. Well, the Knights had the upper hand against this Pickles team all regular season, or so it felt that way, winning 6 of the 8 contests between the two teams. In those 6 wins, Westland was able to strike out an average of 10 batters. They didn't commit many errors, only 2 errors in the 6 wins, and they took a 2-run lead in every single game. The Pickles' 2 wins, well, it's a little different. They won both their games 5-4. They didn't commit an error in the 2 wins, and they had big-time home runs in big spots from Alec Arnone and Kenyon Yovan. Keep the Knights total below 5, and you have a chance. The switch-hitting righty Nick Israel digs in as we get set. 5:30 contest at Bob Brock Stadium in beautiful Aurora, Oregon. One more time, it's the Westland Knights and the Portland Pickles. Israel taps the plate twice, the opening offering 2. Upstairs, and Hajerpi starts off with the ball. Israel this summer hitting 185. He was 1 for 3 yesterday, the 1-0-2. Catches at the knees, and the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Israel headed to Fresno State after transferring from the College of Southern Nevada. The 1-1 to the righty. On the inside, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. The wind is blowing very strong here at Bob Brock. The trees have started to sway. It's the strongest wind we have seen all year in our final game on August the 9th. 1-2 on its way home. Swing and a miss. Down goes Israel. Hajerpi starts things off with a strikeout. And with 1 gone and the base is empty, up comes the righty Christian Cooney. Top 1 here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. Westland and Portland with 0s on the board. Base is empty, 1 out. Opening offering to Cooney. High, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Shadows have started to fall across the field from right to left. The 1-0 to the righty Cooney. Low and in, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Christian Cooney, a sophomore at the University of Portland. He's had a good year, hitting 220 and consistently in this 2-hole. 2-0 from Hajerpi to Cooney. And he swings and slices 1 foul down the right field line. A sizable crowd on hand. 82 degrees at first pitch with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. It's blowing out to center. 2-1 to Cooney. And he swings and misses. High fastball right by him. And the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Christian struck out 10 times in 41 at-bats. So you can almost guarantee one a game. 2-2 to the righty. And he waves at a fastball on the outside. Jerpy's got his stuff going early. 2 up, 2 down on swinging strikeouts. And up comes the right-hander Dalton Chandler with the bases empty and 2 away here in the top of the first. Portland none, Westland none. If you're this Portland team, you would love to jump ahead early. Opening offering from Chandler. Strike at the knees, and the count at 0-1. Jerpy, the big lefty, has quite the amount of accolades in his high school career, but didn't have a great freshman year at Oregon State. His 0-1 to Chandler. Up and outside, and the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jerpy was 1-1 with a 5.25 ERA in just 12 innings. The 1-1 to Chandler. Swinging a foul back to the screen. And the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases empty, 2 gone. Top 1. Portland none, Westland none in our Wild Wild West League championship game. Cooper Jerpy struck out the first 2 batters in this inning, trying to go 1-2-3 with a 1-2 count on Chandler. Jerpy kicks the pitch home. Swing and a miss. 3 up, 3 down, all on swinging strikeouts. Cooper Jerpy has got it going. To the bottom of the first we go. It's Portland none, Westland none through half an inning on our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventist Health.
It started with a checkup that led to a question that spurred a discovery that changed the way we practice health, which led to more questions and more discoveries that changed more ways we practice health. And on it goes. Introducing OHSU Health, a system of doctors and nurses, researchers, clinics, and hospitals, all working together to build a better way to wellness.
To the bottom of the first we go here in Aurora, Oregon. The Portland Pickles none, Westland Knights none. The defense for this Pickles team, it will be Jovan at third, Chandler at short, Israel at second, Gregory at first with Zach Morgan behind the plate, putting down the signs in the squad. Scoro in left, Cooney in center, and Danny O'Reilly in right. The lineup for this Westland Knights team is Holcroft, Armstrong, Briley Knight. The top 3, Chad Stevens, the righty to clean things up. Jake Dukart, then James Anderson at 5 and 6. And Decker Stedman, Jake Lightgeb, and Thomas Dukart at 7, 8, 9. Aaron Davenport, the big righty on the mound, the junior out of Hawaii University, hails from Duvall, Washington. You'll see a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. He'll be upper 80s, low 90s, and his put-out pitch will be that curveball. In his 2 outings, he's gone 10 2/3. Has won both of his games. One was against this Knights team and has given up 4 runs. He'll face Jake Holcroft to start things up. Holcroft leads the league in RBIs with 20 and home runs with 4. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. Only the second time that's happened this season. Davenport's first pitch home. And Holcroft pulls the trigger and spoils one foul down the left field line, counted 0-1. So Jake Holcroft looking to bounce back after struggling in yesterday's game against the Portland Gherkins. The 0-1 from Davenport, too. And he swings and slices one foul down the left field line. And they counted 0-2. Aaron Davenport wasn't supposed to be in a Pickle uniform again after his final outing. We had heard that he was done, but some convincing and some talking to his college coaches at Hawaii, he's back on the mound. 0-2 to Holcroft. And he swings and pops one up behind the Pickles dugouts on the left field line, and the count remains at 0 balls and 2 strikes. Portland none, Westland none. Bottom of the first. Base is empty and nobody out for the leadoff lefty, Jake Holcroft. 0-2. Low and outside, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Holcroft able to lay off the curve. 1-2 on his way from Davenport. Swing and a foul, just back to the screen. Holcroft stays alive, and the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Jake Holcroft had quite the start to his freshman year at the University of Portland, hitting .484. That is 3rd best in all of college baseball. Base is empty, nobody out. Bottom 1, no score between Westland and Portland. The 1-2. And Holcroft swings and slices one down the left field line. This one going towards the corner. Scoro looking up, and he gets to it. Gabe Scoro with quite the range, moving towards that 322 marker down the left field line as he steals extra bases from Jake Holcroft. And up comes the right-handed batter, Andy Armstrong. Armstrong had a special moment in batting practice earlier. The Knights were doing 1 pitch to the top 5 one more time, and Armstrong hit his first home run of batting practice, and then he hit another. So he's got to be feeling good as he digs in. Righty on righty, opening offering. And he swings and drives one into the gap into right center. This one towards the wall. It one-hops the wall. Armstrong around first. On his way to second. He's in there standing. And just like that, the Westland Knights have a runner in scoring position with 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. Well, Andy Armstrong still feeling good. As in stands the lefty Briley Knight, the coach's kid. Briley has struggled as of late. He's 2 for his last 10, was hitting .415 going into the week. Look to find his bat here in the final game. Davenport looks at second, looks home, his pitch. Briley swings and misses. Counting 0-1. Bottom 1, Westland none, Portland none. But the Knights threatening with a runner at second and 1 out. Davenport eyeballs Armstrong at second. His 0-1 home. Strike catches the inside part of the plate, and the count at 0-2. Chad Stevens awaits his turn on deck. Bradley Knight, the former West Coast League MVP, was supposed to be in the Cape Cod League this summer, digs in. 0-2 from Davenport. Just misses outside. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Bradley Knight in his 43 at-bats has taken 15 walks and only struck out 5 times. He sees the ball very well. Armstrong at second, bottom 1, no score between Portland and Westland. 1 out for the Knights. The 1-2. And Bradley Knight rolls one down to the first base line. First baseman Gregory scoops it up, steps on first himself. And there's 2 gone as on to third goes Andy Armstrong. So with a runner 90 feet away here in the bottom of the first, no score between Portland and Westland, and 2 gone. Chad Stevens, the leadoff man of the University of Portland, hitting in the cleanup spot for this Westland Knights team. Stevens with 2 home runs in yesterday's ball game. Only player to do that this summer, opening offering. And he takes a strike on the outer edge. It's counted 0-1. Wind still blowing strong at the left center. Stevens hit one in batting practice that almost went over the scoreboard. At third leads Armstrong, 2 gone. Davenport's 0-1 home. Upstairs, and the count at a ball and a strike. Stevens has had quite the end of the year. He's second in average at .496, second in RBIs with 18, and second in home runs with 3 in the Wild Wild West League. 1-1-2. High again, and the count at 2 balls and a strike. So Stevens with a really good game today. It's a possibility that he can snag the Triple Crown on the final day of play. The 2-1. Catches the outside corner, and the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Westland none, Portland none. Bottom of the first here in our Wild Wild West League Championship ball game. Runner at third is Andy Armstrong. 2 gone. Davenport exhales, his 2-2. And Stevens slices one foul on the right field line. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chad Stevens has a rip on his pants, on his right hamstring. Got that 2 games ago, sliding home. 2-2 to the righty. And he swings and belts one into left field for a base hit. Armstrong comes home to score. Stevens with a big turnaround first. He heads back with a single. And just like that, Westland is on the board. So Chad Stevens now with 19 RBIs. He's one behind his teammate Jake Holcroft. As in stands the lefty Jake Ducar. Stevens also has terrific speed on the base paths. He is 9 for 10 this summer on stolen bases. Leads the WWWL. Runner at first, 2 gone, Westland 1, Portland none, bottom of the first. Davenport's opening offering. And Ducart taps one foul on the right field line. Jake Ducart served as a backup quarterback for the Oregon State Beavers for part of 2018 before leaving the program in September to join the baseball team. Quite the athlete for this Westland Knights team. 0-1 from Davenport. At the knees for a strike, and they count at 0-2. Stevens, after his RBI single, leads at first. Portland none, Westland 1. 2 gone for Jake Duca. Davenport sets his 0-2. And Ducart fights one off as he spoils it down the right field line. Wind at 15 miles an hour at game time, blowing strong out the straightaway center towards the 377 marker. Jake Ducart taps the plate once. Stevens leads at first. Aaron Davenport with an 0-2 count. Deals home. Swinging a slow roller back towards Davenport. He moves to his right, off the mound, gets to it, and fires the first for the out. 2 hits, 1 left aboard. The Knights get on the board. It's Westland 1, Portland none after an inning on our Wild Wild West League stream. Brought to you by Adventist Health. To the top of the second we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. The Westland Knights won, the Portland Pickles none. Cooper Sherpy, who went 1-2-3 with 3 swinging strikeouts in the first, works from the right side of the rubber as he'll pitch to Kenyon Yovan. Yovan with a big home run last time he faced the Knights. First pitch misses away, and the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Kenyon had the home run over the left field wall that made the difference in the last game between these two teams as the Pickles won 5-4. Here's the 1-0. Misses away, and the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the Knights won 6 of the 8 meetings between these two teams in the regular season. But it all comes down to these final 9 innings. Westland 1, Portland none. Bases empty, nobody out. 2-0. Swing and a miss. High fastball once again. Gets a Pickles hitter chasing. And the count at 2 balls and a strike. Yovan, the only Pac-12 player ever to be an All-American for hitting and pitching. Was All-American for DH in 2020, the 2-1-2. Downstairs in the count at 3 balls and a strike. Jovan hitting .250, but does have a .411 on base percentage. He's taken 8 walks this summer. Taps the plate once with the bright green shoes. Looks on. 3-1. Swing and a miss. And the count runs full of 3-2, man. Pickles hitters cannot lay off that high fastball from Cooper Hjerpe. Hjerpe throws hard. Low 90s, high 80s. But again, in the day of spin rate, it's how much spin can you put on the baseball. Payoff pitch to Jovan. And he waves at a fastball. 4 up, 4 down, all on strikeouts. Cooper Hjerpe is feeling it. So 1 out, bases empty, Westland 1, Portland none, and in stands the right-handed batter, Zach Morgan. Morgan behind the plate tonight. Hit .237 in the regular season, was 1 for 3 yesterday in the game against the Gresham Grables. Opening offering from Hjerpe. Low and in, and the count at a ball and no strikes. Westland getting a run in the bottom of the first to take a 1-0 lead in our WWWL championship game. Top 2, bases empty, 1 out, the 1-0. Outside, and the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Morgan with that newly dyed jet black mustache. We'll mention it every time because it's such a look. 2-0-2. And he swings and fouls it back to the screen. The count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Morgan calls Stockton, California home. Said it's been a dream of his to play for the Fresno State Bulldogs ever since he was hitting wiffle balls in his backyard. And his dream became reality. 2-1-2. And he swings and taps one back to the screen. The count levels out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Westland 1, Portland none. Top of the second and 1 gone. Zach Morgan, the righty, digs in. Waiting on deck is Gabe Scoro, the league leader in average at .516. Hjerpe, the lefty, deals his 2-2. Upstairs, and the count runs full with 3 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Morgan. So second straight 3-2 count from Hjerpe to a Pickles hitter. Morgan taps the plate twice. Rests the bat on his right shoulder. The payoff pitch home. And Morgan swings and ropes one into left field, charging is Holcroft. Then he gets under it and makes the catch. A hard hit ball, but Jake Holcroft gets a great jump on it. Make it 5 up and 5 down for Cooper Hjerpe as he records his first out without a strikeout. And up comes the right-handed batter, Gabe Scoro. The only lefties in this Pickles lineup is Israel, who's a switch hitter who leads things off, and then Lucas Gregory in the 8-hole. But it's going to be a lot of lefty on righty, opening offering to Scoro. At the knees for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Scoro, a 3-time Pickle, said he'd be happy to come back for a 4th year. Hit .256 last summer in a regular summer in the West Coast League, the 0-1-2. And he takes a strike. And the count at 0-2. Bases empty, 2 gone. Westland 1, Portland none. Top of the second. Hjerpe looks towards Scoro. Kicks and is 0-2. Swing and a miss. See ya. 6 up, 6 down, 5 swinging strikeouts. Cooper Hjerpe is on a roll. To the bottom of the second we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. It's the Westland Knights 1, the Portland Pickles none. Pickles, none. Aaron Davenport with the long flowing hair out of the back of his cap, the junior out of the University of Hawaii, digs in to face the right-handed batter, James Anderson. It will be Anderson, Stedman, Lightgab. 6, 7, 8 for the guys in pinstripes. Anderson looks towards Davenport. The righty with the open stance out of Skagit Valley. Opening offering to him. Inside and upstairs, and the count at 1-0. Anderson hit .311 in the regular season. Picked up 10 runs and was hit by a pitch 5 times. 1-0. And he swings and skies one into left center field. Scoro going back. Scoro at the track. Goodbye. That ball is gone. James Anderson with his second home run of the year. And the Knights double their lead. It's 2-0 Westland in the bottom of the second. Again, the wind's at 15 miles an hour. Everybody out of the Knights dugout to give their teammate props. And Westland has jumped ahead 2-0.
He's a dunk from the University of Oregon. He's the designated hitter, number 19, Decker Stedman.
So Davenport has given up 2 runs. Nobody out, nobody on. Bottom 2, and in stands the lefty Decker Stedman. Out of the University of Oregon, first pitch to him. And he waves at a curveball. Counted 0-1. Westland 2, Portland none. Bottom of the second. Bases empty and nobody out. The left-handed pitcher Decker Stedman, who does not hit at the University of Oregon, but has had a nice summer here with the Knights. Hitting .318, steps in. 0-1-2. Catches at the knees, and the count at 0-2. A solo shot by James Anderson. The Westland Knights lead the Portland Pickles 2-0 in our Wild Wild West League Championship. With the bases empty and nobody out, bottom 2. 0-2 home. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the ball game for Aaron Davenport. As he gets Decker Stedman to chase, and up comes the right-handed batter, Jake Lightgab. Bottom of the second, Westland 2, Portland none. Bases empty and 1 gone. The righty Jake Lightgab at the University of Washington with his brother, Brandon, who plays for the Pickles, digs on. Opening offering. On the inside for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Davenport has attacked these Westland hitters early. He continues to be ahead of the count. Try to use that to his advantage. 0-1 home. Swinging a pop-up down the right field line into foul territory. Lucas Gregory watches it go foul. And the count at 0-2. Davenport in the driver's seat. A home run by James Anderson to start the inning has the Westland Knights leading the Portland Pickles 2-0 here in the bottom of the second in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Bases empty, 1 gone, the 0-2. Swinging a drive into right center field. This one towards the gap. Cooney, the center fielder, races over and makes the catch. Oh, what speed Christian Cooney has out there in center. Able to get to that baseball for the second out of this second inning. The wind is blowing strong. Say it again, 15 miles an hour. Flag is blowing strong at the left center as the lefty Thomas Ducart leads the opening offering. Misses away, and the count of 1 ball and no strikes. Thomas Ducart, yes, he's brothers with Jake Ducart. Headed to Oregon State next year, the 1-0. And he swings and pops one up down the left field line, and the count at a ball and a strike. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles. Wild Wild West League Championship game. The 1-1 from Davenport. Away, and the count at 2 balls and a strike. It's a pitch right there where you might see Morgan try to frame a little better. He kind of caught it and threw it back, but it was a little close on the outside. 2-1 from Davenport. Swinging a 2-chopper down the first base line. Backing it up is the first baseman Gregory. He gets to it and steps on first himself. 1 hit, it's a home run by Anderson. The Knights double their lead. It's Westland 2, Portland none after 2 innings here on our Wild Wild West League stream. Brought to you by Adventus Health. Top of the third we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. It's the Westland Knights 2, the Portland Pickles none, as Cooper Hjerpe, who is absolutely dealing. 6 batters, 5 swinging strikeouts. He's gone 6 up, 6 down as he looks towards Alec Arnone. Right-hander Arnone, always rocking the stars and stripes on that right arm sleeve, opening out for him. And he swings and bounces one down the left field line, foul. And the count at 0-1. Again, Armstrong is playing third today with Stevens at second, which means the left side of the infield for the Westland Knights is one of the best infields you'll see in college baseball. Those two have flashed the leather multiple times. They put on a show in batting practice every day. 0-1 from Hjerpe. Downstairs, in the count at a ball into strike. Westland 2, Portland none. Top of the third in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Arnone trying to get the first hit of the night for the Pickles. 1-1 from Hjerpe. Swing and a miss. And the count a ball and 2 strikes. Man, these Pickles cannot lay off that fastball. 4 strikeouts to start the game, 5 in the game, through 6 batters for the lefty. Here's 1-2 home. Upstairs. And the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cooper Hjerpe majors in kinesiology at Oregon State. Will be a sophomore there. His 2-2 to Arnone. And Arnone taps one foul back to the screen, stays alive. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hjerpe's got some pitching genes. His father pitched and played infield at Davis High and set pitching records at Cal Poly. The 2-2 to Arnone. And Arnone swings and drives one into the gap into right center field. Diving and unable to get there is the right fielder Dukart. Backing him up is Knight as the ball rolls to the track. Arnone jogs to second, and just like that, the Pickles have a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the third. So Alec Arnone breaks up Hjerpe's dominance, and the tying run comes to the plate in the lefty Lucas Gregory. He'll be lefty on lefty. Gregory playing first base today. The junior just graduated at Clark College. In 8 games, he hit 400, hitting 185 this summer. Arnone at second, nobody out. Top 3, Westland 2, Portland none. Opening offering from Hjerpe. At the knees for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Wind blowing strong out to right center, 15 miles an hour. See if Pickles can take advantage and tie this game up with a big fly. Gregory wags the bat at the waist, holds it on his left shoulder, lefty on lefty. The 0-1 from Hjerpe. Catches the outside corner, and Hjerpe in the driver's seat. They count at 0-2. Gregory did pitch for this Pickles team. In 2 2/3, he gave up 4 runs. He's been a utility player for the team from Portland as he looks towards Hjerpe. 0-2 home. Swinging a foul down the right field line. And the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second is Arnone after his double. Top 3, Westland 2 and Portland none in our Wild Wild West League Championship game, but an opportunity for the Pickles to get on the board and possibly tie things up. Nobody out in the top of the third. Hjerpe sets. Looks at second towards Arnone. His 0-2 home. On the outside. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Gregory digs in, one of 2 lefties in this Portland lineup. The other being the leadoff hitter, Israel, who's a switch hitter. Holds the bat on his left shoulder. The 1-2 from Hjerpe. Gets away from the catcher Likeb. Arnone into second, sliding safely. Going to first is Gregory as he swung and missed, but the throw over is in time from Armstrong. Lucas Gregory not paying attention, could have had a free base, but he didn't run. And instead there's a runner at third with 1 out on the pass ball.
He's a rocket from the University of Toledo. He's the right fielder, number 50, Danny.
So chalk it up as the 6th strikeout for Cooper Hajirpi. As the 9th batter, Danny O'Reilly looks in. O'Reilly was 2 for 3 yesterday with a pair of RBIs. First pitch from Hajirpi. Strike on the outer edge, and the count at 0-1. Arnone at third, 1 gone, top of the third. Westland 2, Portland none. Opportunity for the Pickles to break the goose egg on the scoreboard. Lefty on righty. Hajirpi's 0-1 to O'Reilly. And he swings and spoils one foul down the right field line. The count at 0-2. Danny O'Reilly, the University of Toledo, went to West Valley College before transferring to the University of Toledo. Had 3 multi-hit games in the shortened season. 0-2. And he waves at a high fastball. Number 7 for Cooper Hajirpi. And there's 2 gone with a runner at third for Nick Israel, the switch hitter, batting in the right batter's box. Israel out of Fresno State. Rocking the all-red gloves, a nod to the Bulldogs. At third is Arnone, 2 gone, top 3. Westland 2, Portland none. And a swing and a miss by Israel to start the at-bat. Shadows starting to fall across the infield from the light poles here at Bob Brock Stadium in beautiful Aurora, Oregon. 0-1 to Israel. And he waves at another fastball, and he's in the hole, 0-2. Arnone doubled, reached third on a pass ball, and Gregory struck out swinging. So did Danny O'Reilly. 7 strikeouts and the 8 recorded outs by Cooper Hajirpi. He's got an 0-2 count on Nick Israel. Hajirpi waves off a couple signs, looks over his right shoulder towards third, and sets at the belt. 0-2 home. Up and away, and Israel finally lays off that fastball. The count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Arnone leads at third base. Westland 2, Portland none. Top of the third. Nick Israel trying to pick up an RBI and put the Pickles on the board here in this championship game. The 1-2 home. High again. Nick Israel laying off a couple pitches, and the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hajirpi working his 2nd time through the lineup. And the Pickles now starting to understand what the lefty throws. The 2-2. Swinging a foul back to the screen. Israel fights off a fastball, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arnone at third after his double and a pass ball. 2 gone. Top of the third. Westland with a run in the first and the second. They lead it 2-0. The Pickles looking to slice into the lead. 2-2. Swinging another foul down the right field line. Because this is collegiate Batwood baseball, a lot of these guys have pitching restrictions in terms of the number of pitches they can throw. And so if you're the Pickles, you want to get Hajirpi out of the game as quick as possible. 2-2 home. Misses away. And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the lefty Israel. This next pitch from Cooper Hajirpi will be number 50 on the ballgame. Arnone leads at third. Westland 2, Portland none. 2 out, top 3. Payoff pitch on. Up high, Nick Israel works an 0-2 count to a walk. And there's runners at the corners as the go-ahead run comes to the plate in the righty Christian Cooney. What an at-bat from Nick Israel. So first walk surrendered by Cooper Hajirpi. And the righty Christian Cooney digs in. Arnone at third. Israel at first. 2 gone. Top 3. Westland 2. Portland none. Hajirpi's opening offering. Catches the inside corner. And the count at 0-1. Cooney struck out swinging in his last at-bat. Hajirpi sets at the waist. And is 0-1 home. Swing and a miss. Cooney swinging for the fences and ends up with an 0-2 count. We want to give a quick shout out to the Little Low and the Outsiders. Been some great fans all year long. Thanks for tuning in Los Angeles. At third is Arnone. At first is Israel. 2 gone. And the 0-2. Up and inside. Counted a ball and 2 strikes. Westland with a run in the first, a run in the second. They lead it 2-0. We're in the top of the third, 2 outs. And runners to the corners with the go-ahead run at the plate for the Portland Pickles. The top 2 teams facing off in the final game of the year. 1-2 home. And Cooney waves at a high fastball. 8 strikeouts for Cooper Hajerpi as he strikes out the side. The Pickles get a hit and a walk and leave 2 stranded. To the bottom of the third we go. It's Westland 2, Portland none on our Wild Wild West League stream. Brought to you by Adventist Health. So at the bottom of the third we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. It's the Westland Knights 2, the Portland Pickles none. Pickles leave 2 runners aboard in the top of the third, and the Westland Knights, who have scored a run in the past 2 innings, dig in here in the third. The lefty Jake Holcroft to lead things up. Davenport's opening offering home. Off the outside, and the count at 1-0. It'll be 1-2-3, top of the lineup for Davenport. His second time through. The 1-0 to Holcroft. And he swings and rips one right over the head of Nick Israel, the second baseman, and into right field. Holcroft with a base hit as he takes a big turn at first and heads back to the bag. And there's a runner aboard to start the third. So for the second straight inning, the Westland Knights pick up a leadoff hit. And in stands the righty Andy Armstrong. Armstrong doubled to right center field. His last time up would come around to score on a Chad Stevens RBI single. Holcroft has good speed over there at first base. He's 2 for 3 on the year in stolen bases. Davenport looks at first, sets at the waist. Righty on righty, his opening offering. On the inside for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. Westland 2, Portland none. Jake Holcroft gets aboard with his single. He's at first base. Davenport's 0-1 home. Catches the outer edge. So Davenport goes inside and then outside. Gets 2 called strikes. Coach Brooke Knight talking to our home plate umpire, Jim Courtney. He doesn't agree. 0-2 count to the righty Armstrong. At first is Holcroft. The bottom 3, Westland 2, Portland none. In a Wild Wild West League championship game. 0-2. Way high. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Holcroft signaled to start the third inning. He's at first. Westland, after putting a run up in the first and a run up in the second, trying to do the same here in the third. 1 on, nobody out, bottom 3. Davenport's 1-2 to Armstrong. Low and outside. Armstrong lays off a good pitch. And the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andy Armstrong has a championship ring from Oregon State. He won his sophomore year. Graduate of West Salem High School. 2-2 from Davenport to home. Runner goes. And he swings and slaps one into left field for a base hit. Holcroft holds up at second. Back-to-back knocks for the Westland Knights, who are cooking with gas here in the bottom of the third. As in stands the lefty Bradley Knights. So Holcroft leads at second, Armstrong at first after back-to-back singles. And in stands the lefty Bradley Knight, who grounded out to first his last time up. Nobody out, bottom 3, 2 on. Westland 2, Portland none. Davenport looks at second, his opening offering. And Bradley Knight bunts one back to the pitcher. Davenport scoops it up with the bare hand, only plays to first. He gets there in time. Bradley Knight does his job as he puts a good bunt down. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And there's 2 in scoring position with 1 gone for the righty Chad Stevens. Stevens was absolutely raking in batting practice earlier today. Looked easy for him. Stevens, of course, with the pants that don't fit perfectly. They go about to mid-shin. He doesn't wear socks that pull him up, so it looks a little awkward, but it's working. 3 home runs, 19 RBIs on the summer for him. Holcroft at third, Armstrong at second. 1 out, bottom 3, 2-0 Westland over Portland. First pitch home. Low and away, Stevens, the righty, lays off a ball. And the count at 1 ball and no strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles. In our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Davenport's 1-0 to Stevens. Just misses on the outside. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. So leadoff singles from Holcroft and Armstrong to start the third. Bradley Knight gets a bunt down to move everybody up 90 feet. An opportunity for Stevens to pick up some more RBIs. 2-0. And he swings and belts one into left field, right at the left fielder Scoro. Scoro makes the catch charging. His throw home is late. In scoring is Holcroft, and it's Westland 3, Portland none here in the bottom of the third. A sacrifice fly for Chad Stevens. He picks up his second RBI in 2 at-bats, which puts him at 20, tied with Jake Holcroft for the lead. Again, Stevens with a great night has a chance for the Triple Crown. Armstrong at second, 2 gone. Westland 3, Portland none here in the bottom of the third. Lefty Jake Ducart looks towards Davenport. And the opening offering. And a swing and a foul down the right field line. They counted 0-1. Jake Ducart grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. Was 0 for 4 in yesterday's postseason game. Something that hasn't happened a lot this summer for Ducart. In fact, this only happened 1 other time. That was Thursday, July 30th against the Pickles. He was 0 for 3. Armstrong leads the second, 2 out, bottom 3. The 0-1 home. Catches the corner on the inside for a strike. They counted 0-2. Davenport a strike away from getting out of the inning. Again, a Westland team that in the regular season averaged 9 runs a game. Right now they're on track to hit that with a run in every inning. 0-2. Downstairs in the count of ball and 2 strikes. Wind blowing strong out to left center. Not as strong as at first pitch, but still strong. Armstrong at second. Ducart at the plate. 1-2. Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Morgan, who has to chase it towards the Pickles on deck circle. And it's going to be a pass ball as Ducart goes to first. And the Pickles spoil it out as the inning continues. Armstrong on his way to third base. As in stands the right-handed batter, James Anderson. Anderson hit a home run to left center his last time up. A guy who doesn't have a ton of power. Had 1 home run in his previous 14 games. First pitch to the righty. And he waves at a fastball. Count 0-1. Armstrong at third. At first is Jake Ducar. James Anderson, who's 1 for 1 with a home run, digs in. Westland 3, Portland none. Bottom of the third with 2 on and 2 out. The 0-1. Strike on the outer edge. And the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Davenport in the driver's seat. He got the swing and a miss from Ducart. He thought would end the inning, but it got away from Zach Morgan. And this bottom of the third continues. Davenport sets at the belt. The 0-2, runner goes. Ball's in the dirt. Morgan able to block it. He went around. Morgan scoops up the ball, throws to first, and that does it. A strikeout to end the third, but not before 2 hits and a run comes in. It's the Westland Knights 3, the Portland Pickles none after 3 innings on our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventus Health. To the top of the 4th we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in beautiful Aurora, Oregon. Our Wild Wild West League Championship game. It's the Westland Knights 3 and the Portland Pickles nothing. Righty Dalton Chandler digs in. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging as the Jerpy deals home. Strike on the outer edge and the count at 0-1. Well, Cooper Jerpy has been all right. 8 strikeouts in 9 outs, all swinging. The 0-1 to Chandler. And he waves at a curveball. Dirty pitch from Jerpy. Count at 0-2. The only player who didn't record an out with a strikeout is Zach Morgan. Alec Arnone did have a double. The 0-2 home. Up and away. Dalton Chandler lays off the fastball. And they counted a ball and 2 strikes. As Jerpy almost pitching backwards to these Pickles hitters. He's going breaking ball, high fastball. 1-2. Swing and a miss. There it is. Strikeout number 9. To start the 4th inning, Cooper Jerpy is on another planet. To give you a sense of what this guy can do, his junior year of high school, Cooper Jerpy was pitching in March. It was against Mira Loma, March 26th. He had a perfect game, opening offering to the righty Jovan. Downstairs, he pitched 5 innings, went 15 up, 15 down. Perfect game with 15 strikeouts. Yes, 15 strikeouts. 1-0 to Jovan. Catches the inside corner. Counted a ball and a strike. Base is empty. 1 out, top of the 4th. Westland 3, Portland none. Cooper Jerpy is in the zone as he faces the righty cleanup man. 1-1 to Jovan. Up and away. Jovan lays off that fastball. Seeing the Pickles starting to recognize that pitch. And they counted 2 balls and 1 strike. Our Wild Wild West League Championship game. The final game of the summer here in Aurora, Oregon. 2-1. Swing and a miss. And they counted 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cooper Barnum, who is set to come in when Jerpy is done, had 22 strikeouts in his 5 outings. Right now, Jerpy has got 18 strikeouts in 3 outings. And counting. 2-2 to Jovan. Swinging a foul back to the screen. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Base is empty, 1 out, top of the 4th. Portland Pickles none, Westland Knights 3. In the Knights' wins against the Pickles, they have averaged 10 plus strikeouts. That's one of the keys to the game for them. They have 9 from their starter. 2-2 to Jovan. And he just fouls one back to the screen. The only thing that's going to hold Hajirpi back from going the distance and remaining in this ball game is the pitch count. Unless the Pickles can crack the code, it is all up to the lefty from Oregon State. 2-2. Skips in, and the count runs full of 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 4th full count Hajirpi has dealt, as he's about to deal his 66th pitch of the night. Bases empty, 1 out, top 4. Westland 3, Portland none. Pickles trying to get on the board. The 3-2 to Jovan. Up and away. Kenyon takes a walk. And there's 1 on with 1 out for the right-handed batter, Zach Morgan. Morgan lined out to left his last time up.
Here's Pickles catcher from Fresno State.
Redshirt sophomore from Fresno State.
Zach Morgan.
Digs in with a .310 on base percentage in the regular season. Jovan leads at first. Doesn't have world-class speed. You won't see him running. And now Coach Brooke Knight's going to come out and talk to his ace. See if we get Barnum into the game. Cooper Hajirpi has done terrific work. Cooper Barnum warming up in the pen. So 66 pitches for the righty. I imagine the cap has got to be somewhere around 70, maybe 80. So Coach Knight's probably talking to his guy, letting him know, hey, this is it for you. Give it all you got. And also buying some time for Cooper Barnum to warm up down the right field line. Runner at first is Kenyon Jovan. Top of the 4th. Westland 3, Portland none in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. 28 games, the 29th, and it all comes down to this. Hajirpi's opening offering to Morgan. Low and inside, and the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Zach Morgan has only struck out 6 times this summer. And he was the only Pickle to not strike out. First time through the lineup. On and out, he lined to left. The 1-0-2. Misses away, and the count at 2 balls and no strikes. Jovan walked, he's at first. Top 4, 1 out, Westland 3. And Portland none. Pickles trying to get Hajirpi out of the ball game. The 2-0 on his way home. Swinging a slicing line drive down the right field line. Foul. A socially distant packed crowd here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. Everybody with their mask on and keeping 6 feet apart. Top 4 in our championship game. Westland 3, Portland none. With 1 out and 1 on. 2-1 to Morgan. At the knees for a strike. And the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Morgan spent last summer with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in Alaska, where he had 8 multi-hit games. Graduate from Lincoln High School in Stockton, California. 2-2 home. Swinging a foul down the right field line. Morgan fights off the high fastball, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Morgan was a 2015 15U USA National Team gold medalist, where he hit .375 for the national team, starting 2 games. You can buy his baseball card from that team for 99 cents online. Look it up. 2-2 to the righty. And he swings and belts one right at the second baseman, Ducard, who goes back to first in time. L4-3, the double play ends the top of the 4th as we go to the bottom of the inning. Westland Knights 3, Portland Pickles none here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon on our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventist Health. To the top of the fourth we go in our Wild Wild West League championship game. It will be the 7-8-9 spots facing against Aaron Davenport as the lefty Decker Stedman digs in. Carlo Jimenez on the mic with you. Westland Knights 3, Portland Pickles none. The Knights have scored a run, in every inning. Opening offering. Swinging a slow roller down the first baseline. First baseman Gregory scoops it up, steps on first himself as Davenport runs into him. And there's one gone on one pitch here in the fourth. So the base is empty, one away here in the bottom of the fourth. Westland 3, Portland none, and in stands the righty Jake Leitke. Leitke played quarterback at Lincoln High School, where he had 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on his way to the University of Washington. Davenport's opening offering home. At the knees for a strike, and the count of 0-1. So Jake Leitke, the righty, will soon be teammates with the shortstop for the Pickles, Dalton Chandler, 0-1. And he swings and fouls one back to the screen, and Davenport ahead of the count, 0-2. Shadows starting to fall across the infield. They have covered the right field line. See, there's a shadow right in the face of Leitke as he swings and misses at the 0-2 pitch. And there's two gone. Fourth strikeout checked out of the ball game for Aaron Davenport, and in stands the lefty Thomas Ducar. Bases empty, two gone. Bottom of the fourth, Portland 3, Westland 3, Portland none. Davenport's opening offering. Bunt is put down right back to Davenport. He picks it up with a bare hand in plenty of time, fires a fastball to first base, and gets Thomas Ducard. A quick inning for Aaron Davenport. He gets two hitters on one pitch as we head to the fifth through four. It's Westland 3, Portland none.
It started with a checkup that led to a question that spurred a discovery that changed the way we practice health, which led to more questions and more discoveries that changed more ways we practice health. And on it goes. Introducing OHSU Health, a system of doctors and nurses, researchers, clinics, and hospitals, all working together to build a better way to wellness.
New pitcher on the mound for the Westland Knights from number 39, Cooper Jerpy. We go to number 38, Cooper Barnum, a right-handed pitcher who has had an absolutely terrific summer. 12 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run given up, and 22 strikeouts. He has faced the Portland Pickles 4 times. He has struck them out 16 times. You will face Scoro, Arnone, Gregory, 6, 7, 8. Here in the top of the 5th. Westland 3 after getting runs in the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd. Portland none. On our Wild Wild West League Championship game, last throw from Barnum. Barnum headed to Washington State out of Skyview High School. Gabe Scoro, the righty, digs in, hitting a ridiculous 5-16 in the WWWL. He's 14 for 27 with 9 singles and 5 doubles. Leading off the top of the 5th, the opening offering 2. Strike on the outer edge, and the count at 0-1. Wind is picked up to left center. Saw James Anderson already send one that way and pick up a home run. 0-1 to Scoro. Skips in, and the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights. 1-1 to Scoro. On the outside for a strike in the count at 1-2. Bases empty, nobody out, top of the 5th. Westland 3, Portland none. Gabe Scoro trying to get things going for the Portland Pickles, and time is called. Barnum, when deciding to go to Pullman, said he felt like home at Washington State. Here's 1-2 downstairs. And he said he's happy to go to one of the best college towns in America, but most of all, the coaches made him a priority as soon as they saw him. And he's excited to go there. 2-2. Scoro rolls one up the middle. Second baseman Dukart to his right, scoops it up, fumbles the turn, and goes to first in time. So a single on a trouble with the exchange by Jake Dukart. And Gabe Scoro leads things off the right way here in the 5th for the Pigs. Well, when a guy's dealing like Cooper Jerpy, 9 strikeouts through 4 innings, even though Barnum's been dominant, just the fact there's a new pitcher on the mound can spark an offense. Arnone, the righty, digs in, opening offering. On the outer corner for a strike, the count at 0-1. Westland 3, Portland none. In our Wild Wild West League Championship game, we're through 4 here at the top of the 5th. Nobody out. Runner at first is Gabe Scoro, who's been a machine with a bat. Just picked up his 10th single of the year. The 0-1 to Arnone. And he fouls one back to the screen. Counted no balls and 2 strikes. See if they send Scoro over there at first base. Gabe's a good runner, but is 1 for 2 on stolen bases this summer. 0-2 to Arnone. And he waves at a high fastball. First strikeout for Cooper Barnum is his first out here in the 5th. As up comes the lefty Lucas Gregory with 1 on and 1 out.
Here's the first baseman, number 51.
Dollars on my head plays. The lefty Gregory digs in. Scoro leads at first, 1 out, top 5. Westland 3, Portland none. Barnum's opening offering. Swinging a slow roller up the middle. Diving to his left is Jake Dukart. He can't get there. Around second, on his way to third is Scoro. Big turnaround first by Gregory, but he heads back to the bag, and just like that, there's runners at the corners, and the tying run comes to the plate in Danny O'Reilly.
He's a rocket from the University of Toledo. He's the right fielder, number 50. Danny.
So Gregory able to push one past the infield. And Danny O'Reilly at the University of Toledo digs in. At third. Third is Scoro. At first is Gregory. Opportunity for the Pickles against the new pitcher, the righty Cooper Barnum. Westland 3, Portland none here in the top of the fifth in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Opening offering. Swinging a drive into left center field. This ball going back. Briley Knight, the center fielder, gets under it and makes the catch as he trots onto the track. Scoring with ease is Scoro. O'Reilly picks up an RBI, and the Pickles are on the board here in the top of the fifth. So a sacrifice fly from Danny O'Reilly. And just like that, the Pickles break the goose egg. It's Westland 3, Portland 1, with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the top of the fifth. The switch hitting lefty Nick Israel digs in. First pitch to him. Misses off the inside, and the count at 1-0. So Jerby comes off the mound, and just like that, Portland is on the board. 1-0 from Barnum. Swinging a foul down the left field line, and the count at 1-1 strike. Scoro singled, Arnone struck out, Gregory singled, and Scoro went to third, and O'Reilly sent one to the deepest part of the ballpark that was caught by Bradley Knight, but Scoro was able to tag and come home. Westland 3, Portland 1, top 5, 2 outs, and a runner at first. The 1-1. Swinging a foul back to the netting, and the count at 1-2 strikes. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles, the 2 seed. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights, the 1 seed. Here in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. The 9th game between the Portland Pickles and the Westland Knights this summer. 1-2. Upstairs. Good layoff by Israel, and the count at 2-2 strikes. Israel is the tying run with a runner at first and 2 gone. Barnum looks towards first where Gregory leads. And it's 2-2 home. Low and in, and the count runs full. 3-2 strikes to Nick Israel. Top 5. Westland 3, Portland 1. Run in for the Picks, trying to add some more here with 2 outs. The 3-2. Upstairs, and a 2-out walk to Nick Israel as the tying runs aboard, and for the second straight time, Christian Cooney stands in as the go-ahead run. Back in the third, it was a 2-1 game, and with 2 on and 2 out, Cooney struck out swinging against Jerby. Now facing Barnum, he's got Israel at first and Gregory at second. Sophomore out of the University of Portland, teammates with a lot of this Westland Knights team in the spring. Opening offering. And he swings and slices one towards first base. Anderson to his left, scoops it up. Underhand flips to the pitcher. Barnum covering, and that does it. 1 run comes in on the O'Reilly sacrifice fly. 2 left aboard as the Pickles get on the board. It's Westland 3, Portland 1, halfway home on our Wild Wild West League stream. Brought to you by Adventist Health. So to the Mascot Olympics we go. Middle of the 5th, it's Dylan, Gigi, Little P.
And we also have for your, if you're looking for a sanitizer that smells great and donates to our veterans, go to Santiva.com. Our mascot's name is Bacterium from the Santiva sanitizers.
And we have Bacterium from the Santiva sanitizer. It's going to be sack races. Need some help for these mascots to get in the trash bags. Not sure if Bacterium's going to fit. Little P, GG, and Bacterium. This is for all the marbles. The Mascot Olympics, the best Olympics around. It all comes down to this. All tied up at 2. Dylan, Lil P, GG, and we're off as they race towards the line. Lil P with a slow start. GG also with a slow start. Dylan with the lead. Dylan's going to take it all the way. Dylan T. Pickle has won the Mascot Olympics as he trots backwards across the finish line. Was there ever a doubt? At times, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, but at the end of the day, Dylan T. Pickle prevails. The Mascot Olympics is over, and the gold goes to Dylan. So to the bottom of the fifth we go, back to baseball, as the lefty leadoff man, Jake Holcroft, digs in. Aaron Davenport still on the mound. Here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. The Wild Wild West League Championship game. As our home plate umpire, Jim Courtney, waits for the mascots to leave the field. Westland 3, Portland 1. Bottom 5, the lefty Holcroft looks towards Davenport. Opening offering on his way home. Misses away, and the count of 1 ball and no strikes. 57 pitches for Davenport. That's it. Through 4 innings, so he is well on pace. 1-0 to Holcroft. And Holcroft swings and slices one the other way into left field. Scoro going back right in front of the track. He makes the catch on the back pedal. Gabe Scoro records out number 1 as Holcroft sends one for a ride. And there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th with the bases empty for the righty Andy Armstrong. Holcroft 1 for 3 now in the ball game. Armstrong is 2 for 2. He's got a double and a single. Has come alive in this playoffs for the Westland Knights. Davenport's first pitch to the righty. At the knees for a strike. And the count at 0-1. Andy Armstrong yesterday was 2 for 4 with a run and a pair of singles. He's 2 for 2 today. The 0-1-2. Upstairs in the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom 5. Westland 3, Portland 1. Bases empty and 1 gone. Davenport's 1-1. Swinging a ground ball up the middle towards second base. Backhand slide is Israel. He gets to his feet, throws to first in time to get Armstrong. Nick Israel, the second baseman, steals a hit from Andy Armstrong, and there's 2 gone with the bases empty here in the 5th. What a play. So with the bases empty and 2 away, bottom 5, Westland 3, Portland 1, in stands the lefty Briley Knight. Opening offering to him. Catches the inside corner in the count at 0-1. 2 outs. Bases empty. Opportunity for Davenport to go 1-2-3, 0-1. And Briley Knight swings and ropes one into right center field. No doubt about it. Briley Knight with his 3rd home run of the summer makes it 4-1 Westland here in the bottom of the 5th. An absolute rocket right as it left his bat. There was no question. 2nd home run of the ball game for the Westland Knights as they lead the Portland Pickles 4-1 here in the bottom of the 5th, and in stands the right-handed batter Chad Stevens. Stevens has tied his teammate Jake Holcroft for the lead in the league in RBIs. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a sacrifice fly. He's 1 home run behind Holcroft and leads the league in average behind Scoro. Opening offering. And the righty looks at a strike at the knees. Stevens, although you can argue, has had a lot harder of a time hitting 400. Scoro in half the plate appearances, the 0-1. Strike on the outer edge, and the count at 0-2. But that will be a discussion for after this ballgame. Right now, it's the Westland Knights 4, the Portland Pickles 1. Bottom 5, a run in after the Briley Knight home run, the 0-2 to Stevens. Down and away, and the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runs in the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 5th for the Westland Knights. Pickles' only run came in the top of the 5th. 2 outs, bases empty, the 1-2 home. Downstairs in the count, levels out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Righty Stevens digs in with the hole in his right pant leg. Nobody on, 2 gone, bottom 5. Westland Knights 4, the Portland Pickles 1 in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Davenport deals a 2-2. Just misses off the inside, awfully close. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Things were going quickly for Davenport before he gives up the home run to Bradley Knight. Now trying to get out of the 5th with only 1 run of damage. Payoff pitch to Stevens. And he swings and ropes one down the left field line. Hooking foul. Stevens just missed that one as it lands just left of the 322 mark toward Tucker Brock and Randy Brock, our great grounds crew here at Bob Brock Stadium. Bob Brock is Randy's father, and Tucker is Randy's son. Base is empty, 2 gone. The payoff pitch to Stevens. And he swings and rolls one towards the shortstop, Chandler. Chandler waits for it, scoops it up, long throw to first in plenty of time. 1 hit, it's a solo shot by Bradley Knight, and the Westland Knights lead it 4-1 after 5. To the 6th we go here in our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventist Health. To the top of the 6th we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in beautiful Aurora, Oregon. The Westland Knights 4, the Portland Pickles 1. In our Wild Wild West League Championship game, the righty Dalton Chandler digs in. Opening offering. At the knees for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Well, Carlo Jimenez joined by Parker Huffman. Parker, thanks for coming up to the booth.
Thanks for having me, man. I am excited to be here one last time.
0-1, swing and a miss, and the count at 0-2 to Chandler. What have you been seeing so far from this Pickles team?
Well, Aaron Davenport, despite the 4 runs, he's
0-2, and Chandler knifes one down the right field line foul. Count remains at 0 balls and 2 strikes.
I thought he's really done a good job. I don't think we've ever seen the Knights have 4 single-run innings in a game. Typically you see them score a run and they build upon that.
0-2, and
wow.
Chandler swings and rakes one up the middle for a base hit. Almost clips the pitcher Barnum. And a leadoff knock to start the 6th. Pickles are in business as up comes the righty cleanup man, Kenyon Yovan.
Great hit there. But, yeah, Davenport has really done a great job keeping the Pickles in the game. That home run earlier by Anderson, I don't want to take it away from him. You got to give him credit, but I don't know, on a typical night, that probably is more of a routine pop fly, and that thing just kept going. So Aaron Davenport's done a good job, and excited to see how this plays out.
First pitch to Yovan, and the righty takes a strike on the outer edge. Westland 4, Portland 1. Top of the 6th, Carlo Jimenez alongside Parker Huffman will take you the rest of the way. Leadoff single by Chandler, and an opportunity for the Pickles. You need Kenyon Yovan to get going. Yeah,
that leadoff single is huge. Good spot in the lineup to be right now, so this is the time to do it.
Throw over to first. Back diving on his belly is Chandler. Yovan so far has walked and struck out. But again, it seemed like once Hajerpi came off the mound, Pickles' eyes kind of lit up. They're like, oh, a guy who hasn't struck us out 9 times through 4 innings. We have a chance.
Well, yeah, but
0-1. Yovan waves at a fastball, throw down to first, and sliding back is Chandler. And the count of 0-2 to the righty cleanup man from the University of Oregon.
Who we got behind the plate? Is that Lightgeb?
It is Jake Lightgeb, brother of Brandon Lightgeb, who's in the Pickles dugout.
That guy is quick, man. I'll tell you what, those snap throws to first, we've seen a few of those this summer, and he is a quick one behind the plate.
No stealing on him. Chandler at first, nobody out. Top 6, 4-1 Westland over Portland. Another throw to first, and back sliding safely is Dalton Chandler. And the throw back to Barnum gets away from it, rolls towards the third baseman, Andy Armstrong. Now, Kev mentioned in his pregame show, the Knights came in, and it was the loosest we've ever seen them.
Yes.
In this championship game. And they, like you mentioned it, Singleton's in the first, second, third, and the fifth. They lead 4-1. But an opportunity for the Pickles here in the sixth to cut into the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And
0-2. Low and away. Good block by Lightgeb. Counted a ball in 2 strikes.
Barnum is no slouch either, you know. I mean, we got Jerpy and Barnum, I think so far this summer they had 17 innings going into this game with 1 earned run. So
and 31 strikeouts between them.
Yeah, both of these guys can certainly get it done, but like we said before, this is the spot right now.
1-2.
Good eye.
Misses outside. Yeah, you said a good eye by Jovan. That pitch was called a strike yesterday.
Exactly. I was just going to say that last night. Who knows what would have been the call there, but good eye there. And glad to see that not called a strike. Championship game here.
Top 4, Westland 4, Portland 1. Chandler at first after his leadoff single. Pickles trying to get on the board, slice into the lead. Throw over to first, and Chandler slides back safely. Barnum's throw over there to first base have not been the cleanest.
No, I think that might have hit Chandler in the ribs. But, yeah, they seem to be a little bit concerned about Dalton over there.
Dalton's only stolen 2 bases. He's 2 for 2. Out of the University of Washington. A lot of Pac-12 guys in the ball game.
Yes.
Barnum heading to Washington State on the mound. Jovan at the batter's box at the University of Oregon. And Chandler at the University of Washington at first. 2-2. Chandler runs. Ball's on the outside. The throw to second by Lightgeb is high and not in time. Dalton Chandler steals 90 feet. And there's a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
And that's huge. That's huge. You know, now we still got no outs. We got the runner in scoring position. If we get something over the plate here for Jovan, I would expect him to be swinging and swinging hard. But regardless, if he gets the ball and we get 2 on base, you know, this inning can get real interesting real quick.
Full count to Jovan. Runner at second is Chandler. Nobody out. Top 6. 4-1 Westland. The payoff pitch. In the dirt. Kenyon Jovan takes another walk as he takes 90 feet. And up comes the righty Zach Morgan. Parker, the ball Jovan took when Chandler was stealing. That's a great eye. That ball just missed the outer edge.
Yep.
There's a lot of temptation with 2 strikes to swing, especially with your guy going to second base. He lays off, and just like there's 2 on with nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, it was a similar pitch to the one before that was called a ball, so he got an idea of what the zone was, and that was a great job of being selective and making sure that he doesn't go after something he shouldn't. And now we got someone up who has roped the ball 2 times in a row and just happened to go straight to someone. So we'll see if he can make something happen here.
First pitch to Morgan. Puts the bunt down, pulls it back, takes a ball away, throw to second. Chandler dives back. He was caught a little bit off the bag. Tagged by Jake Ducar-Wisley.
I love the way Lightgeb plays the position of catcher there, man. He just does not hesitate, and he's got a lot of confidence in his arm, and you know, hasn't really had anything happen for him today on a throw back to first or second, but he certainly made it interesting.
Got to be well aware if you're on the base pass. 1-0, Morgan showing bunt. And he pulls it back and takes the ball up and away. Interesting strategy there, Parker. Why does Morgan show bunt before Barnum sets and throws?
Well, in that case, you know, he's not necessarily trying to get a bunt for a hit. He's really it's just a sacrifice. You get 2 guys in scoring position with 1 out. That's something you're always going to take. So we'll see if he does it again.
Westland leads Portland 4-1, 2 on, nobody out, top 6. The 2-0, and Morgan rolls one to the third baseman, Armstrong, who can't handle it. Morgan goes to first with a infield single, and the bases are loaded. for the Portland Pickles with nobody out.
Yeah, you got to give him that one. I mean, another hard shot, and you know, especially after the last two, let's give him a break. You know, this guy's hitting the ball well.
Well, are we seeing some vulnerability from Cooper Barnum, who has looked unstoppable?
He's a pilot in the spring, but he is a pickle in the
As
summer.
in stands the righty Gabe Scora.
And the league leader in batting average. So
.516.
unbelievable, and certainly the guy that you want to have at the plate in this situation if you're the Pickles.
Scoro digs in, no vacancy on the base pass. Nobody out, top 6. The go-ahead run is at the plate. Westland 4, Portland 1. First pitch home. Swinging a drive into the gap into right center field. This ball gets down.
Yeah.
It's picked up on the backhand by Dukart, but it gets away from him. One run comes in. Another run comes in. Morgan races in the plate. He scores. This game is tied.
Just what we wanted to see, man. You know, I mean, certainly we're all Pickles people here, but just to see a competitive championship game, that's exactly what everybody wanted, and this is going to be a fun finish. I can't wait to see what happens.
Gabe Scoro delivers again, a 3 RBI triple, and it's Portland 4, Westland 4. Coach Knight is coming out to talk to his pitcher. We're going to take a break and come right back. 3 runs on the double by Gabe Scoro. It's a 4-4 game with nobody out, and the go-ahead run at second base here in the top of the 6th on our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventist Health. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the 6th. Gabe Scoro at second base after his 3 RBI triple, or double, excuse me. As with nobody out and the go-ahead run at second, Scoro talking to his teammate at the University of Portland, Chad Stevens, over there at shortstop. In digs the righty, Alec Arnone. Carlo Jimenez, Parker Huffman. Take you the rest of the way. Barnum trying to work out of the jam. His opening offering to Arnone. Low and away, and the count at a ball and no strikes. And this is where it can get tough for a guy like Cooper Barnum, who really hasn't faced any adversity all this summer.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he might have been the guy who gave up the 1 earned run, but regardless, you know, he certainly hasn't faced this type of adversity, and here he is with no outs still.
The 1-0 from Barnum to Arnone. Downstairs, and they counted 2 balls and no strikes. And I think what's so interesting about this game, Parker, is all summer, oftentimes you get guys who are working on specific things for their college season. But when it comes down to the championship game, all you want to do is win.
Exactly, yeah. All bets are off in terms of doing anything specific, to try to work on some things. You just got to get the dub.
2-0, and Arnone pops it back to the screen. And the count at 2 balls and a strike. Portland 4, Westland 4, top of the 6th. Nobody out. The go-ahead run in scoring position. It's Gabe Scoro after his 3 RBI double.
My juices are flowing, Carlo. I'm excited up here, man. This is fun.
This is a great baseball game. It's the best one we've had all year, and at the best time. Our championship game. Barnum sets. Arnone, the righty, looks up. 2-1 on his way home. Swinging a pop-up, foul territory down the first baseline. James Anderson, the first baseman, races over, races back, and he can't get to the baseball. He dives back, lost it in the wind.
It's kind of interesting, man. I mean, typically these guys have done a great job on foul balls and infield pop flies, but we've seen a couple over here on the first base side, in between home and first base, that some guys have had some trouble with. The lights aren't on right now. I think last night there was a problem with the lights, but I don't know. A little bit of the wind coming in from the right side may have an effect over there.
2-2 to Arnone. Up and away, and the count runs full. Boy, the Pickles, we have not seen them this together as a team. This much chatter coming out of the dugout. They are hyped.
They're having a good time, and they certainly want this Wild Wild West League championship.
Scorer at second after his 3 RBI double. 4-4 game between Westland and Portland in the top of the 6th. 3-2. Swinging a foul down the right field line. And again, still nobody out. With Arnone, Gregory, and O'Reilly all due up. Opportunity for the Picks to take the lead against what has been the best pitcher, in my opinion, in the Wild Wild West League all summer.
Yes. No, I cannot disagree, and I believe I put him down as that in my voting for the awards at the end of the year.
And he deserved it.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch to Arnone. On the outside, strike 3 called. Barnum gets his first out of the 6th, his second strikeout of the ball game.
That was a great pitch, and I don't know if Arnone wants to admit it, but I think he knew it.
So the lefty Lucas Gregory digs in. He singled his last time up. Scoro at second. He brought in 3 runs with his double, and he is now the go-ahead run. His coach, Brooke Knight of the Westland Knights, not a coincidence,
No.
comes and talks to Cooper Barnum. Oh, it is a coincidence, not on purpose. So, Barnum is gone, and we'll take a break to the top of the 6th here at Bob Brock. It's Westland 4, Portland 4. Here are the runner in scoring position for the Picks with 1 out. Welcome back to the top of the 6th here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. Cole Stringer, the new pitcher on the mound. The Westland Knights 3, the Portland Pickles, Westland Knights 4, Portland Pickles 4 in their Wild Wild West League championship game. Scoro at second after his 3 RBI double, and the lefty Gregory digs in. Cole Stringer sets the opening offering. Downstairs in the count of 1-0. Well, Parker, Cole Stringer.
Yeah.
4 outings, 10 innings, 8 hits allowed, but only 1 earned run. So he's able to work himself out of a lot of jams, and that's with the high strikeout numbers. He's got 14 on the year.
Right, yeah, he certainly has done a great job of working himself out of a couple jams this summer. I don't know how many times he's come into the game with the runner in scoring position.
As he deals a strike to Gregory that catches the inside corner, count of 1-1.
But we'll see how he deals with that.
Gregory singled his last time up. Scoro at second. 1 out. You're in the top of the 6th, a 4-4 game between Westland and Portland. 1-1. Misses away, and the count of 2 balls and a strike. You can see a little bit Scoro and Stevens Yapping at one another. Those two, when we talked to Scoro, have take every class together at the University of Portland.
Yeah, pretty fun, good relationship those guys have.
2-1, and Gregory fouls one back to the on-deck circle that almost clips Danny O'Reilly. O'Reilly not too happy about it. Count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shadows starting to fall across the infield. There's a big one between Cole Stringer.
Now, really, as Gregory, especially as a lefty, you know, you obviously want to protect with 2 strikes, but if you can put something to the right side of the field.
2-2. Low.
Move the runner to third base. Whether you get out or not, that's a protective AB.
Scoro at second. He brought in 3 runs with his double to tie this ball game. Portland Pickles 4, Westland Knights 4. Top 6, 1 out, and the go-ahead run in scoring position. A full count to Gregory. Payoff pitch. Away, and a walk to Lucas Gregory to start the outing for Cole Stringer. There's 2 on with 1 gone. As up comes the righty Danny O'Reilly. Now, it's not the worst walk in the world for Stringer.
You hear that? They got the O'Reilly Auto Parts theme. You know, no affiliation there as far as sponsorship or anything, but that's pretty fun.
O'Reilly digs in. He's hit a sacrifice fly his last time up to put the Pickles on the board. 2 on, 1 gone. Top 6. Stringer looks at second. His opening offering. Swing and a miss. And the count at 0-1. O'Reilly has been really good for the Pickles out of the 9-hole. Yesterday was 2 for 4 with a pair of RBIs. Stringer out of the University of Oregon looks in. Ready O'Reilly out of the University of Toledo. Rests the bat on the right shoulder. 0-1 home. And he waves at a fastball. Count at 0-2. Runners at second and first. 1 gone. Westland 4, Portland 4. Top 6 in our championship game.
It's been aggressive with those first 2 pitches. No reason to change that now with 2 strikes on you. And we'll see what he can do here. Base hit would certainly be the biggest one of his summer so far.
Stringer sets to the belt. And the 0-2 on his way home. And O'Reilly swings and sends one into deep center field. Bradley Knight on his way back. Still going back. He makes the catch. He turns and throws in. Moving to third on the play is Scoro. O'Reilly with another loud out.
Yeah. That
moves a runner up. And there's runners at the corners with 2 gone here in the top of the 6th.
You'll take that as Danny. You know, you got on that pitch pretty well, made some good contact, moved the runner over to third base, so now it's likely going to have to take a base hit to get the runner in, but here we are at the top of the lineup, and I would love to hear that dolphin noise stop. And there it goes.
So the switch hitter, Nick Israel, batting on the right side of the box. Scoro at third, he's the go-ahead run. At first is Gregory. 2 on, 2 out. Top 6, Westland 4, Portland 4. Opening offering to the righty, Israel. Low and outside. And the count at a ball and no strikes. The wind is blowing very strong, Parker, to left center. Probably the strongest wind we've seen for a night game here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon.
Ross Campbell used that to his advantage earlier.
1-0, swinging a pop-up. Foul territory down the first baseline. Anderson moves to his left, makes the catch in foul territory, and that does it.
Great
3
inning.
runs come in on the Gabe Scoro double, and we're all tied midway through 6. It's the Westland Knights 4, the Portland Pickles 4 on our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventus Health.
It started with a checkup that led to a question that spurred a discovery that changed the way we practice health, which led to more questions and more discoveries that changed more ways we practice health. And on it goes. Introducing OHSU Health, a system of doctors and nurses, researchers, clinics, and hospitals, all working together to build a better way to wellness.
So the lefty Jake Ducart digs in. Base is empty. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th, Carly Jimenez. Parker Huffman with you. Aaron Davenport still on the mound.
Yep. I like to see it. He's done a good job.
First pitch to Ducart. Misses away. We were comparing Davenport in between innings. Kind of a, a Syndergaard kind of look.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I actually saw Syndergaard pitching earlier today. He has since cut the hair, but yeah, no, that's a great look.
1-0, and Ducart rolls one to the first baseman, Gregory. He blocks it with his body, gets to it, underhand flip to the covering Davenport in time.
Well done, yeah. They kind of came up on him there at the last second, and he did a great job of staying within himself and making sure that he gets that ball and delivers a nice one to Davenport. Kind of had to make an athletic play as well, but that was a great out.
So bases empty, 1 gone. Bottom of the 6th, Westland 4, Portland 4 in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Davenport in the shadows, Anderson in the sun. The righty digs in, the first pitch to him. Catches the outer edge. Now Parker, as a hitter, when you're in the sun and that ball doesn't come out of the shade till about halfway home, how does that affect you?
Yeah, I was just going to say that can be very tough on a hitter when that starts in the shade and then moves into the sun. Yeah, certainly a little bit harder on the depth perception and seeing that ball come in and seeing what type of pitch it is. So we'll see how these guys can deal with it.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Anderson takes a hack and falls to his knee on a nasty pitch from Aaron Davenport. Count at 1-2. Parker, there's rumors that Davenport was earlier this week in Hawaii.
Right.
Because he wasn't supposed to be pitching today.
No. Yeah, I believe he was.
1-2. Anderson taps one down the third base line. That's a foul ball.
That was close, Carlo. That was real close.
Well, today for our championship game, thankfully we have 3 umpires. Behind the plate, it's Jim Courtney. At first base, it's Roger Castro. And at third, Todd Ellis.
Yeah.
They've done a good job so far.
They have, yeah.
No complaints from either side.
I really I'm liking the zone a lot more than some of the stuff I've seen the last couple of nights behind the plate.
1-2 to Anderson. And he swings and drives one into the gap into right center field. Long way to go for O'Reilly. He gets under it, reaches up, and makes the catch as he stumbles onto the track. Danny O'Reilly, not the most graceful out, but it gets the job done. And there's 2 gone with nobody on. In the bottom of the 6th, Westland 4, Portland 4.
And 2 quick ones. That's the important part with Davenport here, getting kind of into the later innings of the game. Good to see that. And we'll see if he can get another quick one here, if they're going to keep him in or if they move on. You know, it's going to be a tough decision because he's done a great job.
77 pitches so far. Lefty Stedman looks on. Davenport's opening offering to Decker. In there for a strike. In the count at 0-1. 3 runs in the top of the 6th by the Portland Pickles tied this game up. It's Westland 4, Portland 4 in our championship game. Doesn't get much better than this.
No, it does not.
Davenport's 0-1 to Stedman. Strike on the inside. And the count at 0-2. And just like that, Davenport has an opportunity to get out at the bottom of the 6th in 80 pitches. 0-2 to Stedman. And he swings and fouls one back to the screen. The count at 0 balls and 2 strikes. Base is empty, 2 gone. Bottom of the 6th. Westland Knights 4, Portland Pickles 4 in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Davenport, who has been terrific, holding a Knights team that averages nearly 9 runs a game to 4 through 5 2/3. 0-2. Skips in the dirt, and the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and you hear the grunt from Davenport on his 81st pitch. Maybe a sign that he's at the end of his energy.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but at the same time, you know, he's probably a little bit fired up with the tie game here. He wants to keep his guys in this thing, and he's just giving it all he's got.
Alex Giroux warming up in the pen. 1-2 to Stedman. Up and away, and the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Westland 4, Portland 4, nobody on, and 2 gone. Bottom of the 6th here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. 2-2. Just misses outside, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Kenyon Yovan was ready to walk off the field there. Good pitch. Good pitch. Not going to argue with the call. It was a close one.
The batter now in the shadows. Davenport's payoff pitch on the outside. 0-2 to a walk. Decker Stedman with a good at-bat works himself aboard. The go-ahead run is now aboard. And up comes the righty Jake Lightgam with 1 on and 2 gone. Here at the bottom of the 6th. Well, Davenport with his pitch count already way up there is trying to finish this 6th inning and set things up nicely for Alex Giroux.
Yeah, I think manager Justin Barkas would certainly like to see him finish this inning.
Opening offering, swing and a miss from Lightgam, and the count at 0-1. At first is Stedman. After his walk, 3 runs in the top of the 6th on a Gabe Scoro double. And the Portland Pickles are tied with the Westland Knights at 4 in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. 0-1 to Lightgam. And he swings and rolls one up the middle. Chandler, the shortstop, scoops it up. Underhand flips to Israel at second for the force. And that does it. 1 walk, 1 left aboard. To the 7th we go. Westland 4, Portland 4 after 6 innings.
All right.
To the top of the 7th we go. Here in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. The Portland Pickles 4 and the Westland Knights 4. Everybody who comes up will be the go-ahead run. And first it's the righty Christian Cooney. Opening offering. And he swings and taps one down the third baseline. Armstrong, the third baseman, blocks it with his body. Throws to first across the diamond in time. And Cooney is gone on 1 pitch.
Yeah, getting aggressive there on the first pitch. Can't blame Cooney. It was a pretty nice pitch, and almost snuck that down the line, but Armstrong, a great infielder, and got it done there.
So the right-handed batter, Dalton Chandler, stands in. 1 gone, bases empty, top of the 7th. Westland 4, Portland 4.
Now, considering that was a 1-pitch at-bat, I'd like to see Dalton take one.
And he does, and it's a strike on the outer edge. Counted 0-1.
Nothing wrong with that. Get a little deeper in the count. Still be selective here.
The 0-1 to Chandler. And he swings and taps one foul down the third baseline. Parker, we were talking about in between innings. After Cole Stringer, there is a drop-off in this Knights bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of what I'm speaking towards. You know, you'd like to see them kind of get his pitch count up, maybe throw him off of his rhythm a bit.
0-2. Strike 3 on the outer edge. Chandler is down on 3 pitches. As up comes the righty Kenyon Yovan with the bases empty and 2 gone.
That was a great pitch. And another thing, and the fun thing about this matchup here is these guys are quite familiar with themselves. Central Catholic and Westview guys, but now both at U of O. And, you know, another strategy when you got a guy who kind of moves quick like Stringer does is call time.
Opening offering to the righty. Low and in the count 1-0. And Yovan is a guy who takes a lot of time in between pitches.
Yeah.
We'll see him restrap the gloves on both hands. He then blows into his hands.
Yeah, and that's not by mistake.
And takes a practice swing as he digs in. Bases empty, 2 gone. Top 7, 4-4 game. The 1-0 to Yovan. Catches the outer edge. Stringer has got that pitch working, and they counted a ball and a strike. That breaking ball that just nicks the outer corner.
Yeah, he's done a great job with that slider all year.
1-1. Jovan waves at a fastball, and they count at a ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty, top of the 7th. Westland 4, Portland 4 on our Wild Wild West League stream in our championship game. Jovan walked and scored back in the 6th. He taps the plate once. Looks towards Stringer, the 1-2. Off the inside, and the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases empty, 2 outs. And the 2-2. Jovan rolls one down the third baseline foul, and the count continues. You're right, Parker. Jovan started his collegiate career on the pitching staff with Cole Stringer, and since his injury after his blood clot in his right shoulder, has moved to a hitter and faces Stringer in practice.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Upstairs.
Good take.
And the count runs full of 3-2. It's a pretty good advantage as a hitter facing your teammate of yours who you pitched with and also hit against.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it goes both ways. Stringer kind of knows his tendencies at the plate. So
payoff pitch to Jovan. And he swings and drives one into left center field. This ball going back, and it one-hops the wall. Kenyon around first, on his way to second. The throw-in is late from Holcroft. And Kenyon Jovan with a 2-out double as the go-ahead run in scoring position here in the top of the 7th.
All right. What a great stroke there by Kenyon, and good to see him kind of continue. You know, he's kind of been up and down this whole summer, so good to see him come through in this game. And like we said, another guy here who's put the bat on the ball every single time he's got up. Hasn't showed with the hits tonight, but we'll see what he can do here with the runner in scoring position and 2 outs in a tie game.
He sent a rocket towards Andy Armstrong at third. Got past Armstrong as he got an infield single his last time up. Runner at second is Jovan. Morgan, the righty, digs in. 2 gone, 1 on. Opening offering. And he swings and belts one into left field that drops in front of Holcroft. Waving around third. Coming home is Jovan. The throw is wide. The tag is not in time. The Pickles take the lead.
Great call at the plate. Great hit. And here we go. The Pickles got the lead. I think you can certainly expect the Knights to answer that at some point tonight, and we're going to have a fun finish here in the Wild Wild West League Championship.
Zach Morgan picks up an RBI single. The Pickles, with 5 runs in 3 consecutive innings, have taken a 5-4 lead over the Westland Knights here in the Wild Wild West Championship game.
And here we are with Gabe Scoro, the league leader in batting average, who had a base-clearing, bases-loaded double last time he was up to bat. Got another guy in scoring position here. We'll see if he can keep the hot streak going.
2 outs, runner at second is Morgan. Scoro is 2 for 3, opening offering 2. Low and inside, and the count at 1 ball and no strikes.
Scoro's just a humble guy, too. I was talking to him earlier pre-game, and I asked him if he's got a few more hits left in the tank, and he said, you know what, we'll see. I feel pretty good today. And here he is with 2 hits and a chance to get another.
He's looking good. 1-0. Skips in the dirt, and Morgan scurries back to second. Klemp threatening to throw. 2 balls and no strikes to Gabe Scoro. Zach Morgan at second after his RBI single, advancing on the throw home. Portland Pickles 5, Westland Knights 4 in our championship game in the Wild Wild West League. 2-0 from Scoro. Catches the outer edge. Parker, you mentioned it. Count 2 balls and a strike. Pickles will need some more runs. The Knights are going to respond. Pickles have won their 2 games against Westland by a score of 5-4. That's the score now.
Wow.
But in this championship game, got to keep the offense rolling.
Yeah, I'd certainly expect there to be an answer from this prolific offense from the Westland Knights. So got to keep the foot on the gas pedal.
2-1. Scoro's hit on the right foot, and he'll jog down to first base. Gabe Scoro reaches for the 3rd time in the ball game As the top of the 7th continues. All this action coming with 2 outs. There's Morgan at second, Scoro at first for Alec Arnone, the right-handed batter.
And this is just what the Pickles want. Make Stringer work on the mound. You know, here as Arnone, I would again be a little bit more selective than I typically would. We already got the lead, so if you can go ahead and get ahead in this count, this could get interesting.
Stringer looks in, lefty unready. Looks at second, his first pitch home. Low and inside, skips away from Klemp. Going to third is Morgan. The throw, they got him. Zach Morgan a little too aggressive on the base paths, and that does it for the top of the 7th, but not before the Pickles take the lead. A double by Jovan, a RBI single by Morgan. 1 runner left aboard. It's time to stretch. The Portland Pickles 5, the Westland Knights 4. Here in our Wild Wild West League stream, brought to you by Adventist Health. To the bottom of the 7th we go on our Wild Wild West League Championship game. It's the righty Ben Lead batting for Thomas Dukar.
We got Giroux on the mound.
With Alex Giroux on the mound, opening offering. Catches, or just misses outside. Boy, awfully close.
Giroux?
It's Giroux.
Okay, good to know.
His parents sent us a nice note after we mispronounced it for a whole game. 1-0 to lead. And he swings and ropes one right at the third baseman, Jovan. Diving to his left. He makes the catch and robs a hit from Ben Lee. There's one away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Great play there for Kenyon. And great start to the inning for Alex Giroux.
So the lineup card flips. And the lefty, Jake Holcroft, digs in. 1 out, bases empty. Bottom 7, Portland Pickles 5, Westland Knights 4 in our championship game. Opening offering. And Holcroft pops one up, back to the screen. Alex Giroux will give you some stats on him. 13 innings pitched. He's given up 2 earned runs, 14 strikeouts. In the 12 innings against the Knights, a lot of his innings coming against the Knights, he's only given up 2 runs.
Pretty impressive.
0-1. Inside. In the count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Holcroft. Alex Giroux, Parker, is first in the league in first pitch strikes 80% of the time. He throws his first pitch for a strike. He's ultra aggressive. And I think that's what you have to do against this Knights team. You gotta be overly aggressive. 1-1. Holcroft swings and rolls one on the ground. Right side that gets by the diving Israel and into right field. Jake Holcroft is aboard with a 1-out single. The tying run on the base paths as the go-ahead comes to the plate in the righty Andy Armstrong.
Yeah, you've got a aggressive lineup offensively for the Knights, so you know it kind of goes two ways. If you can attack the zone and hit your spots, you put it over the plate, but not necessarily the best pitch. These guys are likely going to go after it early in the count, and when you can rely on your defense, that's a good strategy.
First pitch to the righty Armstrong. Upstairs, the count of 1-0. Holcroft at first. He is 2 for 3 on the year on stolen bases. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Portland Pickles taking a lead in the top of the 7th with a run. It's 5-4 over the Westland Knights. The 1-0. Downstairs. Very close on the last 2 pitches.
That was a good-looking pitch, Carlo. Good-looking pitch. But you know what? I'd rather have it be a tight zone than a wide one, especially tonight. So that's okay.
Giroux sets. Holcroft at first. The 2-0. And he looks towards first, and Holcroft is back to the bag. Giroux, righty, has his back turned to first base. Coming out of the pen. Trying to close things out for the Picks. 2-0. And Armstrong swings and belts one into center field. Cooney charges, now holds up and takes it on a hop. And there's 2 on with 1 gone after back-to-back knocks by the 1 and 2 spots in the Westland Knights lineup for the lefty Briley Knight.
And that was the right play out in center field by Christian Cooney. You know, possibly had a chance to dive and make a spectacular play, but with a one run lead and getting into the later innings in this game, it was smart to check up there, especially with 1 out. And you know, it's tough. This Knights offense, they just keep on coming. Here we are with Briley Knight, who's got one of the best batting averages in the league. So
and last time up, sent a ball over the right field fence for a home run. Tying and go-ahead runs are aboard for the Westland Knights. Bottom of the 7th. 5-4, Portland Pickles lead Westland. Giroux with 1 out, trying to get out of the jam. First pitch. Downstairs to Briley Knight. In the count at 1-0. Alex Giroux trying to find his rhythm. Needs a ground ball up the middle. Great speed on the base paths for this Knights team. The 1-0 to Briley Knight. On the inside for a strike in the count of 1-1. And what has surprised me, Parker, the wind's still strong to left center. Still strong.
Yeah.
And so it is dangerous. Any fly ball can easily carry out of the ballpark. You mentioned it. We saw that earlier today in batting practice.
Yeah, if I'm Giroux, I'm keeping this ball low.
1-1.
All of them.
And Giroux looks back at second towards Holcroft. Holcroft with a single at second. Armstrong singled behind him. He's at first. Andy Armstrong is 3 for 4 tonight. 5-4. Portland leads Westland, but the Knights threatening. The 1-1. And Briley Knight taps one down the right field line, foul.
That broke the bat.
And there goes his axe handle. Seems like that's the only way to get to Briley Knight. Tried to jam him on the inside. Other than that, he's been absolutely terrific. Briley, though, Parker, in his last 10 at-bats is 2 for 10. He's had a lot of good outs. For example, his ground out in the first that moved Armstrong from second to third. But doesn't have the hits to show for it.
Sure. And his teammate there was going to hand him another bat. He said, no. Let me get another axe handle. So that's clearly his bat of choice.
2 on, 1 gone, bottom of the 7th. Portland Pickles 5, Westland Knights 4. Here in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Giroux is 1-2 home.
Good pitch.
Just misses downstairs, and the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Briley Knight transferring from the University of Utah to the University of Portland, a UP team that is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this is it's going to be a fun team to watch. I highly recommend going out and checking out this roster when we have the opportunity next year, hopefully.
Giroux sets, and it's 2-2 home. And Briley swings and pops one up down the left field line. Long way to run for Scoro, and it drops in fair territory. Holcroft around third. He scores standing. It's a single for Briley Knight as he boops one down the left field line. And we're all tied at 5 here in the bottom of the 7th.
I could have sworn that was going to land in foul territory, and then all of a sudden I look up at the flag out in center field, and that thing is blowing straight to the right. So I think that certainly had an effect, and here we are with a tie ball game.
So the top 3 batters of this Westland Knights lineup all get a hit. And just like that, we are all tied at 5. Chad Stevens, the right-handed batter.
Talk about a timely hit. Now we're blowing straight out to center field.
Opening offering. Catches the outer edge. Count of 0-1. Yeah, it's been a game that really, and the first time all year, has been affected by the environment. Not the field, though. It's absolutely perfect here. Bob Brock in Aurora, Oregon. Armstrong at second, Knight at first. 1 gone, bottom of the 7th. Opportunity for the Knights to take the lead. 0-1. Strike on the inside corner, and Chad Stevens in the hole, 0-2.
There you go. That's what you got to do after a hit like that. Get aggressive and get ahead of the next batter. Now you tell me, Carlo. Drew on the mound, he's almost got a Ross Campbell look to him, no?
I see it. Hopefully he can get out of this inning and help Ross Campbell's Pickles. Drew, 0-2. Strike 3,
pitch.
Called on the outside. Down goes Stevens, and there's 2 gone with 2 on in the bottom of the 7th for the lefty Duker. Chad Stevens, been one of the hottest hitters in the league, and Giroux retires him.
I was just gonna say, what a great pitch, 0-2 against one of the best hitters in the league this summer. It's exactly what he wanted to do, and he executed.
Armstrong leads at second. Here's the go-ahead run. Bradley Knight at first. 5-5 game between Portland and Westland. Bottom of the 7th, and 2 gone. Giroux exhales as he looks towards Ducart, and he deals on the outside for a ball. The count of 1-0. Lefty Jake Ducart digs in. He reached on a pass ball on a should have been a strikeout back in the 3rd. He is 0 for 3 today.
It's tough for me, Carlo. I don't know if it's a little bit of my bias coming in, but now we've been talking about the wide strike zones.
1-0. And Ducart swings and lifts one into center. Long way to run for Cooney. He can't get there. Around third, on his way home is Armstrong. The throw to third to try to catch Bradley Knight is offline. Throw to second to get Ducart. And they got him. He came off the bag.
He was safe, and then he slid up and hopped off of the bag, and they kept the tag on him, and he's out.
So the run is going to count. The Westland Knights have taken a 6-5 lead on the single by Jake Ducart trying to advance to second. He's tagged down. Westland gets 2. They lead 6-5 after 7. 2 more innings to go in our Wild Wild West League Championship. And the Westland Knights leading the Portland Pickles 6-5 on our Wild Wild West League stream. Brought to you by Adventus Health.
It started with a checkup that led to a question that spurred a discovery that changed the way we practice health, which led to more questions and more discoveries that changed more ways we practice health. And on it goes. Introducing OHSU Health, a system of doctors and nurses, researchers, clinics, and hospitals, all working together to build a better way to wellness.
To the top of the 8th we go here at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. The righty Alec Arnone digs in. Westland takes the lead, 6-5 on top of Portland. The opening offering to the righty. And he swings and drives one into left field, but this ball is playable for Jake Holcroft, who reaches up and makes the catch. Again, the wind blowing from left to right, right when the Pickles send one out to left. And it hangs in the ballpark for out number 1. It's everything that is into the outfield, Parker. There's a chance it leaves the park just because the wind has been so strong. The question is, where is it blowing at the time of the hit?
Right.
So the lefty Gregory stands in, first pitch. At the knees for a strike. If you're the Pickles, you want to get Stringer through a long inning.
Yes.
Get to another reliever.
Got to make him work. Stay selective even though there's one out.
0-1, swing and a miss, count 0-2. Gregory and then O'Reilly, 7-8-9. 1 out, bases empty. Top of the 8th. Pickles trying to tie things up before they have to do it in the 9th. Westland 6, Portland 5. The 0-2 to Gregory. Off the outside, and the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Gregory's 1-2 from Stringer. Downstairs, just misses. Cole Stringer bouncing up on his toes. He thought that one was in the zone, and the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Westland 6, Portland 5. Bases empty, 1 gone. The 2-2.
Good eye.
Misses away again, and a full count to Lucas Gregory. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a good job of the Pickles, just understanding who's behind the plate today. You know, like I said, the last few nights that may have been a strike, but good job there.
Payoff pitch. Swinging a big chopper down the third baseline. Armstrong can't handle it. It's a fair ball. Gregory is safe at first. And a single with 1 away. Here in the top of the 8th has the tying run aboard as the go-ahead comes to the plate. It's the switch hitter, the righty, Danny O'Reilly. Israel will be on deck. So an opportunity for the right-hander who's got a sacrifice fly, had the first RBI of the game. He's got 3 RBIs in the playoffs.
The last one that he hit, it certainly had a chance. So we'll see if he can get on one, put it into the outfield up in the air, and see what happens. The wind is blowing straight out.
Opening offering to the righty. At the knees for a strike. In the count at 0-1. Gregory at first after his infield single. Portland Pickles 5, Westland Knights 6. Top 8, 1 on, 1 out in our Wild Wild West League championship game. Stringer's 0-1 to the righty O'Reilly. Low and outside, and the count, a ball and a strike. And it's a tight zone, Parker, but it's being called both ways.
Yeah, consistent, and that's all we can ask for. And like I said, you know, certainly like to see it a little bit more tight than we're used to than loose for this championship game.
1-1 to O'Reilly. And he swings and slices one foul down the right field line. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes. The wind at the first pitch was at 15 miles an hour. The way that flag is blowing out to center, it looks like it's back to 15.
Yeah, if not more.
Runner at first is Gregory. O'Reilly, the 9-hole hitter, trying to keep the inning rolling with 1 out and 1 on. Top 8. And Stringer stands off. The Westland Knights scoring 2 in the bottom of the 7th to retake the lead after the Pickles took a lead in the top of the 7th with their run. Westland 6, Portland 5. 1-2 to O'Reilly. Low and inside, and the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Parker, I know you work with ticketing. How many socially distant fans do we have in the crowd?
We're sitting around 150.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Capacity for us is 200. 2-2. O'Reilly pops one up towards the shortstop Stevens. He backpedals into the sun and makes the catch for out number 2. So O'Reilly pops out. And with 2 gone and the tying run aboard, up comes the righty Nick Israel to face Cole Stringer.
Yeah, here we are again at the top of the lineup. Again, just, you know, obviously if you get your pitch, you want to go after it, but at the same time, you want to do what you can to make Stringer work and keep that pitch count going up.
First pitch to Israel. Off the inside, and the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Israel has walked twice. He is 0 for 2. Gregory leads at first after his single. Westland 6, Portland 5. The 1-0 home. And that gets Israel on the back. Israel jogs down 90 feet. He takes a base and a bruise. And there's 2 on with 2 out. As Christian Cooney stands in with the tying and go-ahead runs aboard. Christian Cooney has been in a lot of big spots for the Pickles.
Yeah, another one here.
And another opportunity to try to do something and give the Portland Pickles the lead. He is 0 for 4 so far. We're going to get a pinch runner. Jaden Hanna will pinch run for Lucas Gregory at second base. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. Cooney in the 2-hole. The righty of the University of Portland digs in. Christian, famous, of course, for hitting the first home run of the Wild Wild West League over the left field wall.
Yes, first game.
And right now, the Pickles would love another big fly. Westland 6, Portland 5, top 8, 2 out, and 2 on. Cole Stringer out of the University of Oregon trying to get out of the jam. Opening offering to Cooney. At the knees for a strike, and the count at 0-1. We've seen Christian strike out twice swinging already today. When he gets behind in the count, he can get a little antsy. See if he remains calm here with a 0-1 count. Hannah at second. At first is Israel. Speed on the base pass. The 0-1 to Cooney. And the Stringer looks back to second. Jaden Hannah is back on the bag. So the Shadows have covered the infield. There's still sun in the outfield. Got a 5:30 start. The earliest in the Wild Wild West League since opening day. 0-1 to Cooney. Downstairs, good layoff. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. A single by Gregory. Israel was hit by a pitch. Runners at second and first, 2 gone. Jaden Hannah into pinch run for Lucas Gregory at second base. Westland 6, Portland 5, top 8. 2 out, 2 on. 1-1 to Cooney. Inside, and the count at 2 balls and a strike.
That almost got him.
Cooney's been hit by a pitch twice this summer, including yesterday's game in which he was hit in the back. Stringer sets the 2-1. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and the count evens out, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Here we are.
Cooney out of Central Catholic.
2-2 count with 2 outs. You got to roll the dice here. See what happens.
At first is Israel. At second is Hannah. 2-2-0. Cooney swings and bounces one towards the shortstop Stevens. He scoops it up, throws across his body to first, and that does it for the top of the 8th. A hit, a walk, 2 left the board, no runs come in. It's Westland 6, Portland 5 to the bottom of the 8th we go. Knights looking to add some cushioning before the final frame here in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. On our stream, brought to you by Adventist Health. To the bottom of the 8th we go here in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Alex Drew on the mound. He'll face the righty James Anderson. It will be Anderson, Stedman, and Klemp here in the bottom of the 8th. Westland 6, Portland 5, opening offering home. Catches the outer edge, and the count at 0-1. Well, for Alex Drew and the Pickles, you need a quick inning here. Keep it at a 1-run lead and let your 3, 4, 5 guys go to work. The 0-1. On the outside part of the plate again, and Giroux in the driver's seat. The count 0-2 to Anderson.
Great location. Now's the time where certainly don't want to give him anything good to hit.
The 0-2 home. Swinging a foul just back to the screen. Anderson stays alive. Bases empty, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th. Westland 6, Portland 5 in our Wild Wild West League Championship game. Lights have turned on. The sun is setting to our right. Wind's still blowing out strong to center field. 0-2 to Anderson. Low and outside. Good block by Zach Morgan. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
Not a bad pitch at all. See if he might chase it. Still, you are in the driver's seat as the pitcher.
Giroux's 1-2 home. Catches the outer edge. Down goes Anderson. And there's one gone in the bottom of the 8th.
Just what he wanted as the first at-bat of that inning. Great job locating his pitches and gets a quick first out.
Second strikeout of the ball game for Alex Giroux. And the lefty Decker Stedman digs in. Bases empty, 1 gone, bottom 8. Westland Knights, the 1 seed, lead the Portland Pickles, the 2 seed, 6-5. Opening offering. Over the heart of the plate for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Giroux has been terrific, giving up 2 runs in his 13 innings. Going to keep it a 1-run game. 0-1 to the lefty. Misses away, and the count a ball and a strike. 1 run in the top of the 7th by the Portland Pickles. They took a 5-4 lead. 2 in the bottom of the 7th by the Westland Knights. They took a 6-5 lead. So we teeter-totter back and forth. 1-1 to Stedman. And he waves at a fastball, and the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
I love the way Giroux is working right now. Just called off 3 pitches and got the one that he wanted and executed it. Here he is again with 2 strikes ahead in the count.
Stedman walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Bases empty, 1 out. Bottom 8. The 1-2 home. And Stedman bounces one up the middle. Chandler to his right, scoops it up, spins, throws across his body to first. Not in time.
Wow.
Decker Stedman with some good speed beats out a nice play by Dalton Chandler up the middle.
Fantastic play by Dalton Chandler. That was quite the athletic play there. And shout out to Stedman for beating that out, man. Got some wheels.
So a single with 1 gone in the bottom of the 8th. And in stands the righty Nicholas Klemp. Drew trying to keep things low. Looking to double things up in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch to the righty Klemp. And he fouls it back to the screen, counted 0-1. We mentioned it earlier when Giroux came in. 80% of the time he throws a first pitch strike.
Yep.
He has done that in all of his at-bats.
Attacking the zone, and that's just what you got to do against this Knights lineup especially.
Stedman at first after his infield single. The 0-1 to Klemp. Catches the outer edge, and the count at 0-2.
He's pitching great, man.
Bottom of the 8th, Westland 6, Portland 5. Runner aboard with 1 out. In our Wild Wild West League championship game. Wind still blowing very strong out to left center. The 0-2. And Klemp swings and pops one up down the right field line, foul. C.J. Rivers over at first base watches that one fall into the stands.
See, here's another situation. Now you got a runner on first base, so you certainly don't want to let a pass ball go by and let that runner move into scoring position. But at the same time, you want to keep the ball low and see if you can get him maybe to chase something here.
Giroux sets. Runner at first, the 0-2 to Klemp. Up and away, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Westland 6, Portland 5. The top 2 teams in the Wild Wild West League going at it in the championship game. Bottom of the 8th, 1 out, and a runner at first is Decker Stedman. 1-2 from the righty Giroux. Swinging a slow roller towards second base. Israel charging, gets to it, only plays at first. On to second goes Stedman, and there's 2 outs, so the runner in scoring position for Ben. Check that, we're going to have a new batter here for the Westland Knights. In the 9 hole, it was Dukart, lead, and now Taylor Holder. So Holder, who was originally warming up in the bullpen, picks up a bat, and he'll try to add some cushion to the Westland Knights' 6-5 lead.
And that was the right play there by Israel at second base. You know, possibly had a chance to get the guy at second, but if you go after that and you don't get the out, you know, you're really putting yourself in a tough position. So go ahead and get the sure out at first base, and here we are with 2 outs. You gotta put some trust in Giroux here on the mound.
Holder digs in. The righty with a runner at second and 2 gone. Bottom 8, 6-5, Westland leads. Opening offering. Up and in, and the count at 1-0. Taylor Holder holding a bat, has hit 200. He is 2 for 10. Not a lot of at-bats.
Right.
2 RBIs for him. Did have a double against the Pickles on July 30th. 1-0 to the righty from Giroux. And he swings and drives one into the gap into right center field. Cooney going back. Cooney looking up, and it's gone! Taylor Holder goes yard with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
And that hurts.
The Westland Knights have taken an 8-5 lead. Giroux left one over the outer edge, and Holder, who had only had 10 at-bats all summer,
just left that fastball a little bit more up than I think that he would have liked to, and that's the thing about this Knights lineup, man. You can be a great pitcher, but if you make one mistake, they're likely to capitalize on it.
Big time home run from Holder. So in stands the lefty Holcroft, opening offering, and he waves at a fastball. They counted 0-1. Giroux still on the mound, 2 gone, bases empty. Bottom of the 8th. 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th by the Westland Knights. As they take an 8-5 lead. 0-1 misses away, and they count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And you mentioned it, Parker. Pickles went up 5-4. You said the Pickles need more runs.
Yeah.
And the Knights take an 8-5 lead.
Yeah, I knew for sure they were going to answer in that bottom of the 7th.
1-1 misses inside, and they count 2 balls and a strike to Holcroft.
They get 2 runs there, and then here they are again, staying aggressive and getting 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, giving the Pickles some work.
2-1. Up and away. 3 balls and a strike from Holcroft. Nobody warming up in the Pickles pen.
No.
Big time homer from Holder, the 3-1. And Holcroft swings and pops one up into left field. Gabe Scoro takes a couple steps forward, gets under it, and makes the catch. Pickles have some work to do. It's the Portland Pickles 5, the Westland Knights 8. After 8 innings, to the top of the 9th we go. It's going to be the big bats for the Picks. Chandler, Jovan, and Morgan coming up when we return. To the top of the 9th we go. It's the Westland Knights 8, the Portland Pickles 5 at Bob Brock Stadium in Aurora, Oregon. Our Wild Wild West League Championship game. After 28 games and 8 innings, it all comes down to this. The Pickles have Chandler, Jovan, and Morgan. They need 3 runs, or the Westland Knights are the Wild Wild West League champions. Parker Huffman, Carlo Jimenez. Last time the Pickles had Chandler, Jovan, and Morgan leading off an inning. That was in the 6th, and they went on to score 3 runs.
Yeah, I think if Coach Barkas would have had the opportunity to pick his where they would start in the lineup for this last inning, it would be these guys.
Dobmeyer deals, and Chandler takes a strike, counted 0-1. Jacob Dobmeyer on the mound at his 8 2/3 has struck out 15 and given up 4 runs. He did pitch yesterday, 0-1. At the knees for a strike. Dobmeyer starts off hot. And the count at 0-2 to the righty, Dalton Chandler. Bases empty, nobody out. Top of the 9th. Westland 8, Portland 5. 0-2 from Dobmeyer. Strike 3. Down goes Chandler. And the Knights need 2 more.
That's a great breaking pitch, and he gave it to him a couple times in a row. You could tell on that third one. I don't know if he was necessarily expecting it, and got a little bit fooled. Wasn't able to pull the trigger.
1 out, bases empty, and it's Kenyon Yovan. Big right-handed batter. Taps the plate, opening offering. And he checks his swing. And does not go. And the count at 1-0. 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. The Westland Knights went from down 5-4 to up 8-5. That's where we sit in the top of the 9th, 1-0. At the knees for a strike. Jacob Dobmeyer's dealing. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's got that slider working.
Wind still blowing strong out the right center. The 1-1 to Yovan.
No.
Checks the swing again, and he does not go. The count remains at 2 balls and a strike. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights in our Wild Wild West League championship game. Base is empty, 1 out, top 9. The 2-1 to Yovan. And it clips him.
Way to take that.
On the left shoulder, Yovan jogs down 90 feet. Pickles need base runners. They get 1. And with 1 out, up stands the righty, Zach Morgan.
We've talked about it before, Carlo. You know, you said you might be a little bit apprehensive to stand in there and take that pitch, but that's exactly what you got to do when you're behind in the game. Last inning, great job by Yovan standing in there and taking that on the shoulder to get himself on base and giving the Pickles a chance here.
So the righty Morgan digs in. Again, 4 hard hit balls for him, 2 singles. He's 2 for 4. Yovan leads at first. The tying run, Gabe Scoro, is on deck. Opening offering to Morgan from Dobmeyer. Just misses downstairs in the count at 1-0. Well, this is the part of the lineup you want up to bat if with your season on the line for the Portland Pickles.
Absolutely.
Zach Morgan with that jet black mustache that he dyed with.
Just for men.
Just for men. 1-0. Strike on the inside, and the count at 1-1. Yovan at first, 1 out, top 9. Westland 8, Portland 5, 1-1 count to the righty, Zach Morgan. Pickles need some runs. Dobmeyer's 1-1, home.
Good eye.
Misses on the outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Flag is blowing straight back to center. Pickles with a run in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. The Knights with a singleton in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 5th, and 2 in the last 2 innings. 2-1.
Another good
Misses off the inside, and a hitter's count to Zach Morgan, 3-1. So a walk would bring the tying run to the plate and Gabe Scoro.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation, right? Because if you get the pitch that you want, especially when you're seeing the ball as well as he is, you got to go after it. But at the same time, if you can get a 4th ball.
3-1 from Dobmeyer. Swinging a drive into left field. Going back is Holcraft.
That's
He's
gone.
looking up. It's gone!
Let's go! Man, that guy has been seeing the ball so well today. You just, you knew that he had the chance to do something like that, and good on him. 5 hard hit balls today for 3 hits, and he gets himself the home run here in the 9th inning to make the lead from the Knights just 1 with 1 out left. 1 out in the inning, 2 outs left to go. We'll see what the Pickles can do here.
A 2-run home run by Zach Morgan, and all of a sudden it's a 1-run game. Here in the top of the 9th for the hottest hitter in the Wild Wild West League, Gabe Scoro. Scorer with a 3-run double to right center field his last time up. The Pickles can tie this ball game up with a big fly. Morgan with a huge home run. Westland 8, Portland 7, 1 out, top 9, opening offering. At the knees for a strike, and the count at 0-1. Well, if there's one guy you want at the plate, it's number 12, the three-time Pickle. Hitting above 500, 0-1. And he swings a late pull and fouls it down the right field line. Defensive hack, and the count at 0-2 to score. On deck is the righty, Alec Arnone.
I mean, we just couldn't ask for anything more here tonight, Carlo. I mean, this is what everybody's been waiting for here in the Wild Wild West League, and just a great game.
And the 0-2. Swinging a drive into left field. That drops for a base hit. Scoro around first. He holds up after a big turn. The tying run is aboard, and the go-ahead comes to the plate. It's Alec Arnone. Scoro today, Parker, 3 for 4.
Unbelievable.
3 RBIs.
I mean, what a summer this guy has had. I mean, at this point, it's just out of the question. He has got the batting title well beyond anybody else in the league as far as batting average goes. And kudos to Scoro, man. Just continues to prove year in and year out. A lot of fun to watch.
Righty Arnone stands in to face Dobmeyer. Opening offering. Low. And he counted a ball and no strikes. Dobmeyer started the inning hot. Here we are in the top of the 9th. 1 out. The tying run is at first. The go-ahead is at the plate. Westland Knights 8, Portland Pickles 7 in the Wild Wild West League Championship game. Arnone rests the bat on the right shoulder. Dobmeyer sits at the waist. And the 1-0. Catches the outer edge. The count evens up a ball and a strike. Alec Arnone today has got a double. He is 1 for 4. Has struck out twice. Scoro leads it first after his single. He's the tying run. The 1-1 to the righty. Catches the outer edge again. And now Arnone's going to have to protect that part of the plate as the count moves to 1-2. A 2-run home run by Zach Morgan pulls the Pickles within a run. Can they tie things up in the top of the 9th with 1 out? 1-2 from Dobmeyer. Low and away. Good eye by Arnone. And the count levels out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No shadows on the field here at Baum Brock Stadium. Arnone trying to push the Pickles tied with the Knights. Portland 7, Westland 8, top 9, 1 out. 2-2. Swinging a pop-up back to the screen. Arnone stays alive, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoro at first after his single. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Portland Pickles. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Westland Knights in our Wild Wild West League Championship game.
And Arnone is right on that fastball.
Dobmeyer sets. His 2-2. Swing and a miss. Arnone is down, and the Pickles are down to their final out. Big time strikeout for Jacob Dobmeyer, and up comes C.J. Rivers, who had a huge 2-run double in yesterday's playoff game. Up to bat for the first time. Well, there's one guy who is very intense. He gets to the ballpark. Always here first is Rivers at a Cal State Bakersfield. Yep. And he loves this Pickles team.
He loves this team, and he just loves the game. I mean, that's the thing about C.J. Rivers. He just loves the game of baseball. And,
1 on.
It's going to be fun to see him in this spot. Let's see what happens.
1 on, 2 gone, top 9. Westland 8, Portland 7. Opening offering to Rivers. Downstairs, and the count at 1-0. You don't have to do it right here if you're C.J. Don't have to do it all. Just get on base.
That's right.
Scoro leads at first. 2 runs in for the Pickles here in the top of the 9th on a 2-run home run by Morgan. But they need 1 more. Dobmeyer's 1-0. At the knees for a strike. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Rivers.
Now, Dobmeyer's really been working that outside corner, and if CJ can find one that he likes on the outside corner, there's a lot of room over there. The right fielder is playing very far towards center field. If he can poke one out there, it might get interesting.
Runner at first to score. 2 gone. Top 9. 1-1. Rivers swings and drives one into center. Briley Knight gets under it and makes the catch. The Westland Knights are Wild Wild West League champions as they defeat the Portland Pickles 8-7 in our final game at Bob Brock Stadium. 2-run innings in the bottom of the 7th and the bottom of the 8th. The Knights celebrating over by second base. The Pickles made it interesting, but at the end of the day, the best ball club from day one, the Westland Knights, are Wild Wild West League champions.
Yep, you said it. I mean, these guys have clearly been the most talented team out here in the Wild Wild West League the whole summer, and you got to give kudos to them, man. They earned it. They certainly did. CJ hit that ball right on the screws, but against a team like this, you gotta be leading going into the 9th inning, not trailing.
A lot of credit to this Pickles team. 7 runs against the Knights.
Yeah,
a huge top of the 9th, in which Zach Morgan made it interesting with his 2-run home run. But at the end of the day, the Westland Knights get 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. A 2-run home run by Taylor Holder, who had 10 at-bats all summer. In his 11th, his 2-run home run is the difference in the ball game.
Yeah,
that's the Wild Wild West League. A left-handed pitcher wins you the championship. Well, for Rory, we'll have a post-game show, actually, so we're going to keep it here. Parker, if you're Coach Parkus talking to your Pickles team, what a great year they had, made it to the championship game, were 1 run shy of getting the win. What is your message?
Oh, you can't be down on these guys at all. You know, they did a great job of making sure that they got into the spot that they deserved, which is in this championship game. You know, they had some up and downs this summer throughout the league, but you know, they had a great year. All these guys continued to get the ABs and the looks that they wanted to get. They got some looks by, you know, some of the guys involved in the next level that they're hoping to reach. So, you know, it's nothing negative. They did a great job. It was a hard-fought game, 7-8 on the scoreboard at the end of the day. So, certainly nothing negative. Great job by the Pickles, and again, you just got to tip your cap to the Knights, man. They're a talented squad, and they showed out and proved that they deserve to be the #1 guys here in the Wild Wild West League.
A lot of guys on that Knights team were supposed to be out east on the Cape Cod League, but because of COVID-19, the Wild Wild West League happens. We have the most talent in the Northwest. And the Westland Knights defeat the Portland Pickles 8-7 on the final game. You could not ask for a better ball game. It was back and forth. The Knights jumped out 3-0. The Pickles got on the board in the 5th. The Knights then took a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Gabe Scoro, who has been absolutely magnificent with a 3-run double into right center field, ties the game at 4-4. The Pickles take a 5-4 lead in the 7th. But then the Knights do what the Knights do. 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th on a Taylor Holder home run to right center, which at the time looked like it had finished the game. And the Pickles made it interesting, scoring 2 in the top of the 9th on the home run by Zach Morgan. But unfortunately, with a runner at first and 2 gone, the Pickles unable to get the job done. We'll have our post-game awards hosted by our great pregame hosts, Ron and Kev, down there on the right field line. Well, Parker, let's talk about your picks. Who'd you have for League MVP? Let's start there.
League MVP, I believe I had Jake Holcroft. Got to give the credit to that guy. He's had a great bat all year long. I believe he's still got the most home runs in the league after this game.
He does.
So I gave it to Holcroft. I mean, what an athlete. You know, he's really got all the tools. He's got a great arm. He's got a great bat. He's got a great glove, and he's got some speed as well to go along with it on the base pass. So that was my league MVP.
Finished the year hitting .377 with a .459 on base percentage. Tied with Chad Stevens, leading the league in RBIs with 20, and led the league in home runs with 4. So yeah, he is absolutely terrific. Who was your Pickles MVP?
My Pickles MVP was Scoro. Man, I mean, I don't think there's even much of an argument, especially after tonight where he went, what did he go, 3 for 4? 3 for 5?
Yeah.
You know, regardless, he hit over 500 on the summer with plenty of at-bats to, you know, be right up there with all the guys, and hitting over 500, that's just remarkable, and so that was my Pickles MVP.
Get a beautiful shot down there of we see Brook Knight hugging his dad, winning another championship. Now, Holcroft, your league MVP, who's your pitcher of the year? I know we talked about Barnum earlier, and he had a rough day today, but he still had a great summer.
Yeah, and Cooper was my pitcher of the year for the Wild Wild West League. I did make that vote yesterday morning, I believe, but you know, regardless of the outing today, that's still my pitcher of the year.
So we're going to go to Ron and Kev down on the first baseline. We'll do a quick sign-off for all the people who brought you your Wild Wild West League stream. For Rory Neuenhouse, our producer, John Sandylands, our director, Kat McCaroff, our graphic designer, Daniel Barkhazen, our DJ, Gary Walker, our statistician, Jackson Thomas, our advanced analytics, Kelsey Henry, our first base cam operator, Parker Huffman, doing the color commentary, Ali Weisman, our photographer, Ian Lee, our sound effect operator, Courtney Schmidt, our interview coordinator, Johnny Harvey, our crowd entertainer, David Barth, our technical consultant, and Emily Lordson, our on-field advisor. That's going to do it. Carlo Jimenez signing off one last time here at Bob Brock Stadium in beautiful Aurora, Oregon. The Westland Knights are your 2020 Wild Wild West League champions as they defeat the Portland Pickles 8-7 in a thriller to close the year.
Thank you to Carlo and Parker. Congratulations to the Westland Knights. Welcome in Alan Miller. He's going to give out the awards. And, Alan, why don't you just go ahead and take it away. The marshal of the Wild Wild West League, Alan Miller.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll get right to it. We have an amazing award of all of the fine posters of our art collection this season. I'd like to put Pitcher of the Year to Cooper Barnum.
Barnum!
There you go, right there.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Oh no, that's all. You get the poster.
We got to keep you lean and mean,
this
man.
This is a great one to the coach, our coach of the year of the Grey Wolves, Jim Hopple. Where's Hopple?
Hop!
Hopple is
Hop!
coach of the year.
Sprint, Hop!
Come on, Hop.
Hopple!
You guys are just in the wrong. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming.
Jim Hopple, get yourself over here. Here it goes.
Hop!
Hopple, where are you? I just saw you over here.
Wave some donuts and he'll run faster.
Here he comes, everybody. Jim Hopple.
He's not hurrying.
Coach of the year, right? He's going to get some voodoo donuts. Voodoo vitamins. Over here.
You know, it's really amazing the job that Hop did. It's this guy that came in with 8 catchers on his roster, 3 pitchers. He won with 3 pitchers at one game, and that guy did a fantastic job. Home Run Derby, his team got him into the second round, into the 2 and 3 round against the Portland Pickles. Jim Hopple.
We have the MVP of the team for the Knights, Jake Holcroft.
Where's that trophy?
There he is.
Jake, good job, buddy.
Way to go, Jake.
Jake Holcroft did nothing but tear the cover off the bowl the entire league in duration.
All right, we have the MVP of the Pickles this season is none only the Gabe Scoro.
Gabe Scoro!
Come on, Gabe.
Come on, number 12.
Gabe.
Pickles MVP, Gabe Scoro. Batted over 500 in the Wild Wild West League.
There he is, yeah.
The last 2 games had 2 bases emptying doubles.
Pickles MVP right there.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate
Absolutely. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Way to go, Gabe.
Appreciate it.
Pulling for you the whole way, bud.
Thanks, Kev.
You betcha, Gabe. Our pleasure,
we have
buddy.
the entire league MVP award of the Wild Wild West League, the first ever, Jake Holcroft.
Jake!
Yeah.
Woo!
Come on back, Jake. Right there. There you go. Congratulations.
Way to go, good job, Jake. Way to go, buddy.
Everybody come on in.
And to the
All of you.
to the first ever
Come on in, Knights.
Wild team, I present the trophy. Thank you.
Yeah! Good job! Coach Knight, come on over a sec. That was a great game. That was a great game that you guys came away with, and you won the league title. Outstanding baseball.
It was a
Outstanding from
fantastic
top
game.
to bottom.
I mean, I was sitting there thinking in the eighth, whoever wins this darn thing's going to absolutely deserve it. I've been a part of a couple of those, but that was one of the best games, I've been involved in.
The last top of the inning, I was sitting here, and when that home run went out, I could just hear the silence going on the bench, but then they were right back at it, so they were definitely wanting it, and you could definitely tell the enthusiasm from your club. So good job to you, man. Appreciate everything you've done, and you've done a fantastic job.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
betcha.
guys. Thanks.
Well deserved by each and every one of those guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These guys, huh?
All right. Thank you.
Take care, Coach. Thank you, sir. Well, that's it, folks. The Wild Wild West League. It is indeed been a Wild Wild West League. Marshall, come on over and talk about. This is our Marshall, Alan Miller, also owner of the Portland Pickles. Alan.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Could
That
you
was
have ever
fun,
thought
right?
of something better than this?
Oh.
I mean, yes, a Pickles victory, but the way it turned out and the way everything played out, this was fantastic.
Come on, it was unbelievable baseball. This was an incredible game. We're lucky to have gotten to see it. It's been an amazing summer.
Just think of all the people all throughout America and even Canada that are talking about Major League sports that can't view it. So excellent job for you guys to actually put it on and allow people to come see it. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Kevin, Ron, we couldn't have done it without all your hard work and everybody else on the Pickles staff. So thank you guys for
Definitely
everything.
a learning experience. We saw the West Coast League commissioner was out here as well as Rob Nelson as well, who put on a little bit of the big league chew. So it was a great turnout. Good to see.
Great crowd.
There's your buddy over there, Mr. John Ryan, one of your other owners. That's definitely leading everything.
You gonna get him over here?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, come on, John. Come on. Come on. He's a shy guy. You know how those gingers are.
Come on.
He's talking about being a Canadian ginger and all
He
that,
just
but
wants to
yeah.
play catch.
Well,
Come on.
can you? There he goes, leaping through. He's showing off that athleticism coming on through. There he is. What's going on, John?
Get in there. Get in
Good
there.
job, my man. Good job. What a wonderful way to end up the league, huh? It could have been better, but still.
It could have been better. Yeah, we're all homers. We all wanted the Pickles to win, but it was the best game of the season. It was incredible. This is what baseball's all about. This is when we wanted to bring baseball to Aurora to do this thing that said that we couldn't do. This is what we wanted to happen.
Showed 'em out.
and it
Showed 'em
happened.
how to
And
do
it
it too,
happened
huh?
tonight. Yeah.
It would be interesting too to see if Major League Baseball kind of pays attention a little bit. I know you're a native of Canada and everything, and you've seen the way that the National Hockey League has done it.
Yeah.
But baseball has kind of been floundering a little bit the way they've done it. Maybe they've taken some notes.
I hope so. I think we did it the right way.
I do too.
We took every precaution. We didn't cut corners anywhere. We had the fans here in a limited amount. I feel like everyone felt like they were safe when they were here, and I feel like it was a real success.
I had a chance to talk to quite a few fans that I normally see up at Walker Stadium, and they were a little bit more on the subdued side just because they didn't want to be too obnoxiously loud.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody,
We're used to being a pretty ruckus crowd
Yes.
back in Walker Stadium. Even Ron here, he starts yelling at the umps, starts yelling at the players. Everyone's like, Ron, you can't do that. And at the Walker Stadium, Ron's he's on the loud mic. It's celebrated. So he's just a little bit different environment, but we had baseball and we had it in a big way.
It was kind of funny to listen to the umpire before the game. He came over and gave Ron a specific warning. So that knows when you're being heard.
Ron started the game with one strike against him. He did. He came right up to him. He ready the riot act before even first pitch. So that tells us all who Ron is. But we all know who Ron is, the K guy,
the mouthpiece,
and
the K man.
we love him. We
do love him.
No filter at all. And that's why we love
If
you,
you're an
buddy.
automobile, we might not be able to,
Yeah.
the oil wouldn't say it. So, but what an exciting game. The game really had a lot of everything. It had, some of the best pitchers both teams provided.
Oh, man.
It had some power. It had some, some crazy, wacky plays that are typical of a good game. So
It really
everything
had
you could want.
a little bit of everything. At the very start of the game, I was like, this is going to be a 1-0, a 2-1 game with how great the pitching was early on. And the pitching did carry on, but the bats were great too.
They were.
And we had a couple quirky little flares that dropped in there. We had a couple double clutch type air hits. You didn't really know what it was, and it was just like it had a little bit of everything. I thought it was a great game.
And one of the guys that I've been hearing from Ron constantly, you hear the scoreboard chant, and that means Gabe Scoro, and Gabe Scoro came through and played well. But really, I mean, there's not a single guy over here on the West Linn team that didn't give their all every single time. And, as much as we as Pickle people, are a little disappointed we didn't come out on the top, but that's a good club over there.
You gotta give praise where praise is due, and I mean that team over there is absolutely great ball team. And
you look at there's about a lot of future right over there. A lot of guys in this way too that are just going to be future players in professional baseball. And
there's going to be guys pitching in the minors, playing in the majors from that squad. It's just what a privilege it is to be able to watch them. And as I said in pregame, just being able to watch them take batting practice every day is fun.
Exactly.
I mean, they are knocking all these poor neighbors over here with their. they probably want to keep their cars off the road around 3:30 batting practice time because the ball is just flying all over the park here every single day, and it's just fun to watch. So kudos to them. They deserve this, and man, what a great ball team.
There was a couple of cars that were driving by right at the time the ball went over the fence, and I'm sure it was like, where'd that come from?
Yeah. They were definitely threatening the roadway for the last month. So there's some locals that are going to be pretty happy that we're gone now.
Well, they can also lower their insurance policy on the home now. So
right, exactly.
John, it's been a pleasure. As it always
it's been
is,
so much fun,
friend.
you guys.
So
thank you guys.
I understand you're going to take a flight back to down south. Are you going down south?
Back to LA,
Back to LA?
Tomorrow morning, and we got 9.5 more months till Pickle baseball again.
There you go.
Yep.
And
there we go.
We'll see you in Walker Stadium come the first week of June.
I'm counting down the days.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It
Thanks,
starts
guys.
today. Thanks, bud.
Love you guys.
Appreciate it. Yep. John Ryan, one of the 3 owners of the Portland Pickles, along with Alan Miller and also Scott Barkas. This is it, folks. This is all we can give you. Couldn't give you any more, even if we wanted to. Couldn't pay for a better game if you wanted to. No. This was as much as you could expect outside of the right team winning. But, hey, it just, they say those that don't pull it off, it just gives them the experience to be able to do it next time. So, if this is the last time and the only time we see the Wild Wild West League, this was a wonderful experience. If it's just the start of something that will continue, then what a springboard it is for the future of the Wild Wild West League. So kudos to each of the 4 managers that came out and gave it their all their players that came from all over the country. And during the pregame, we mentioned that they're all going to be traveling different areas of the country to continue their play with the schools that they're at, to continue their education, which is the most important thing, often I think forgotten, is that they're really all about education. But and then I could ramble on forever, but Ron, I guess we'll kind of head off into the sunset together.
Yep.
You got the horse out there, I've got my horse out there, and you don't often see a cowboy with a baseball hat on. It's usually a cowboy hat, but ta-dum, here we go.
We'll leave the cowboy hat to Rory.
Rory's got the cowboy hat, and Rory, I'm wondering if he's got the sore arm from yesterday, because he wheeled. They could have actually gone to him if they needed any extra help in the bullpen.
Oh,
You have any college eligibility left? You do? Yeah. Well, you never know. So, but Spike, you did a great job, buddy. You led us to a wonderful Wild West League. Appreciate the efforts of Daniel, of Rory, Carlo, Parker, all the other interns, Robert over there doing a fantastic. Man, I don't want to leave.
No. Let's keep going.
Shall we just stay here until?
Yeah, I think we should just keep broadcasting.
Till Coach Randy finally starts his league up. But we're going to head on out of here, as we said. Do appreciate everybody for spending their time watching the Wild Wild West League on Facebook Live and also on YouTube Live. Until we meet again, take care.